EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Monday edition of Birds 365. Week 6 in the NFL just about wrapped up with a game to play here on Monday night. We are back live for another week on Birds 365. Hope everybody has a great week ahead of them and had a great weekend this past weekend. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way in. Johnny Mac, how you doing on this Monday morning, my friend?
Doing well. Better than I don't know if I'm doing as well as James Franklin because he's got a $50 million budget. No, I don't think he's doing too well. I was about to say better than James Franklin, but no, probably not. So anyway, yeah. It's been a good run.
$50 million to park up on the couch, John, as long as he wants.
Yeah, exactly. So, I had to rethink that right as I was saying it, but hasn't been a great run for Philadelphia sports. Hopefully the Eagles get back to it. Fix some things, but Philly's losing, Eagles 2 in a row, which is a catastrophe, evidently. And
it was compounded. It was Sunday and Thursday. It was like the same week, dude. Same week, double losses for this team.
Yeah. So, got to get back to winning.
Real quick. I mean, we'll get into some of the week 6 games yesterday and just the thought process there. We'll get into some of the reports that are coming out that are, we'll talk about how much merit there is to them or how much truth there is to them. But 3 days now, 3 days removed from 4 days removed from that pretty ugly loss, John, to the New York Giants, to say the least. Where is the thought process 4 days later, John? I know we're going to turn the page and get ready to prep for week 7 here, Eagles Vikings this upcoming weekend. But 4 days removed, how's the thought process evolved on that game, John?
Oh, not much. I mean, that's a bad loss. That is a bad. There's no way to put a lipstick on that pig. That's bad. That's a bad football team you lost to. That's a team you typically dominate. That's a team you should dominate with a rookie quarterback and a rookie running back, and they just beat you into the ground. And like the most disturbing, I think it's ironic because nobody stops talking about the Eagles offense, which by no means has been good. Not trying to say that, but I think in that particular game, they're the ones that at least showed some improvement, I guess, at least from the passing perspective. And, the defense kind of fell apart and with a couple injuries, high-profile injuries, but nonetheless, you hope to persevere better than that.
Right.
And one thing you see, if you watched any football, the injury rate around this league is insane to the point that I there was an Eagles player who I mentioned before, and who said, hey, guys are just soft now. And I'm starting to believe, and it wasn't an old guy; it was a younger player. I mean, the injuries on these particular teams, and by no means they're a heck of a lot hard. I don't like saying that word. This is a direct quote from a player, not me. They used to play through things. They don't play through things anymore. And that's what I think the difference is. But so to say, well, they didn't have Jalen Carter, they didn't have Quinyon Mitchell for the majority of the game. Well, that's take a look around. And some teams, by the way, fall apart. Baltimore. Some teams persevere. Tampa Bay.
How about Tampa Bay? 5-1, boy.
Tampa Bay was down to their 4th receiver, was their 4th, 5th, and 6th receivers. I think 5th and 6th. I mean, it's So I'm not using that as an excuse. I just can't, because so many other teams. And we talked a lot about the Temu off season and all that kind of stuff. They're just not as deep, nor anybody who thought they were going to be as deep was probably had the Eagles colored glasses on after all the attrition they suffered in the off season. So they're not equipped to handle These types of injuries, even short term, they're just not nearly as deep as they were and have been. And that was, you got to look at Howie Roseman, give him all the flowers, but hey, they decided to reset in the off season for what's upcoming, and you see part of the payment coming for that.
Right.
Have guys ready to step up. It's easy to say next man up, but when the next man up doesn't even reach
And is it more worthy of criticism, or is it more of just you've kind of regressed to where everybody else is, and we had a rare?
Definitely. There's no dominant teams. You saw Detroit,
right? But I mean, even
Kansas
last year we
City.
had this depth where Isaiah Rodgers is coming off the bench and he's playing.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have that.
You know,
Yeah.
we don't have that. But nope, does anybody have that? Is my
No,
point. You know what I mean? We had a rare instance.
There's no who's great right now that you go, wow.
Yeah, and we got to run through some of these teams that are 4-2 or better, and it's just like I can't tell who's a contender and who's a pretender yet. It's tough to look at. I mean, the Steelers are sitting at 4-1. The Colts and the Jaguars are 5-1 Colts and 4-2 Jaguars. I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah, I mean,
amazing what
I
we
think
look
the
at.
Colts might be legit, but you got to believe in Daniel Jones, and I know nobody's going to believe in Daniel Jones, even though I think he's been the MVP.
I'm a Daniel Jones believer. I mean, he was in New York. If people believe in Saquon Barkley, why don't they believe in him? He had a same shitty offensive line in New York.
They don't. Saquon believes in him. I'll tell you that.
I mean, even over in the NFC, John, we got 3 teams in the West are 4-2. The Niners, the Seahawks, and the Rams, all 4-2. Bucks are 5-1. The North, you got the Packers 3-1-1. Lions are 4-2. And then in the East, obviously, Eagles are 4-2. Commanders are 3-2. They play tonight. I mean, there's a lot of different ways this thing can go.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are still, if they can figure things out, and I think that's where people panic too soon. Yeah, they're not playing good football in mid-October. The goal is to play your best football like last year as the season gets into December and January. And they still have time to fix that. And I think it starts this week. And Minnesota's one of those teams that, all right, tell me who's playing. I don't know because they're another team. It's like the injury rate is insane over there. I don't know who's playing. Is Cashman coming back? Is Van Ginkel coming back? I don't know. But they're a different team when they're out there. They better play Carson Wentz. Are they? I don't know. Because if they play J.J. McCarthy, the Eagles are going to win. They were down 5 offensive linemen coming off their bye week, coming off their European trip. Who of that 5, who's going to be back? I don't know yet. So you might have a really tough game, or you might have an easy layup game. Dependent on where you are, because I don't expect Landon Dickerson to play again. I don't expect Quinyon Mitchell to play. I do expect Jalen Carter to play, and these are just early speculation.
Yeah, right. There's been nothing. When will we learn more about where we stand?
Well, Nick's going to talk today via Zoom, but you're not going to get anything injury-wise from him. So until we show up Wednesday, typical Sunday week, we're not going to know. But again, you can't complain because look at the other team. I mean, they got double-digit injuries. So
it's crazy. I was out of the house yesterday. I had my goddaughter's christening, my niece's christening. So I was at my brother's house all day, but I get notifications from the big Eagle, from the big NFL guys and the big Philly guys, but injury, all popping up on my notifications, man. I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of injuries going on. So
crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Detroit was down, I think, their top 4 cornerbacks at one point last night.
Yeah, they got beat to the Chiefs last night. I did catch some of that game when we got back.
The Packers have, they're good, but they don't wow you. They're straight, Joe Flacco's going down the field and scoring. So they're not wowing me. Nobody, Dallas has a good offense, but they lost because their defense is so bad.
Yeah, their defense is awful.
But George Pickens, George Pickens. It's like, what has George Pickens ever done? Now he's got Dak throwing him. He looks like what everybody thinks George Pickens is. Dude looks awesome.
Exactly. He does look good, George Pickens.
Yeah, and they don't even have CD Lamb. But Washington's hasn't had their quarterback, so I can't complain about injuries.
Well, what do you think we are right now? I mean, do you think the loss on Thursday, is it flush it and get back to where you are, or are you like, the dominance of this team that we've come to know of the last 20-something games, where we all talked about they've 20-1, they're 18 straight, all these different things, and it almost felt like not only fans but reporters, I don't want to speak for you guys, people in the league, the Eagles are this dominant aura, this dominant, thing about them where it's like almost nobody can beat them. That certainly I feel like is gone. But is this a game you flush it, John, or has your overall?
I think you have
to, changed.
Well, it certainly has changed from they're not equipped to handle some significant injuries, even in the short term. They're just not equipped. And you've already seen it. You lost Nolan Smith on the edge, and then you start looking at, well, we talked about this in the offseason. I mentioned he's one of the most important players on the team, not because I think he reached that crux of being a superstar, just like if they don't have him, what do they have? And this is before they got Zadarius Smith. So they're even a little bit better than they would have been, but they're just not good enough. They lose Quinyon Mitchell to a hamstring, and you're like, oh my Lord, look what's out there. So, and if he's not going to play this week, and typically a hamstring is going to be difficult for, even with a couple extra days, it's going to be difficult for a cornerback to make it back, even with the lightest form of hamstring injury. So if you start looking at Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson again, maybe you have to throw Mac McWilliams in there. Maybe you have to throw Perry Nickerson in. Are you comfortable with that?
I mean, it almost feels like it can't get much worse. So whoever gives you – the only reason I think Perry might make some sense is because he's got at least some experience. But you could say the same with Adoree. So, what does that really
mean? And you don't have little Jordan Humphrey and Wan'Dale Robinson this week. You got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Now, again, if you don't have a quarterback to get those guys to football, so there's a lot of things that play into it, but that doesn't shape up as a good matchup on paper for the Eagles defense. But, this is also one of the worst, I think, run defense teams, at least from an advanced stat standpoint, because they had that weird trade where they traded Harrison Phillips, and Cashman's out or has been out, and Van Ginkel's out. So they've been playing Eric Wilson and Ivan Pace at linebacker. And those who remember Eric Wilson here, he's a good athlete, he's good, but he can't defend the run at all. So if you're ever going to get the running game going, this might be the week. And I would think that's how the Eagles will go into it. And then that whole philosophy, I mean, when you talk about that, have the Eagles lost their sort of identity or lost their sort of cachet? Well, until they get that running game back, the answer is yes. Because that's what gave them their cachet, let's be honest. And Saquon's, he wasn't bad against the Giants. It was actually a little bit of an improvement. But I mean, what is he averaging? 3.4 yards per carry, I think now. I mean, 5.8 last year, over 2,000. If you count the playoffs, I think it was well over 6 yards a carry.
Is that mostly on the offensive line, you think? I do, but just want to get your perspective.
Well, I think it's a combination, but yeah, I think the offensive line is beat up. But I mean,
It's not as much. I'm not even saying that to knock on the offensive line. It's more just last year was, as you talked about on the show, John, at length, a historic offensive line. I mean, one GM told you it was one of the best offensive lines he's ever seen. Well, when you don't have that anymore, you're not going to get 5.8 yards per carry. You're not getting
but you're not going to get 5.8 and 2,005 yards, but you can't be at 3.4.
Yeah, right.
This team is. Remember what they did with Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift. You at least got to get back to that level. And this is the week to start because this team is not very good. They're very undersized. They don't have a real nose tackle. You can move them off the ball. They don't have good linebackers unless Cashman comes back. This is the week to get that thing going, and it needs to get going because this is not a team you want dropping back 40 times. You don't. I don't know if people think that or envision that or want that. You don't want that because then the turnovers are going to start piling up.
Well, a lot of things change, John, if that can't happen for this team. I mean, obviously, because we've been such a run team. But what I mean by that is, this team last year's offense was so well equipped to play the way they play. It had the parts oiled, to run and throw when they needed to run. Now, if that offensive line isn't the same, John, that's why it's the number one concern for me, because if you don't have that offensive line, it's going to force you to play a different way. And what does that look like in Philadelphia? And do we have, look,
well, if you have to,
Jalen's not, as you just pointed out, Jalen's not the quarterback to drop back and throw the football all over the yard every single week. So if you don't have the offensive line and you are getting 3.4 yards per carry with Saquon Barkley, what is the path to victory now for this team? What is the path offensively for this team to manage that type of change?
Well, you become like everybody else, and that's pretty much what has happened. So that means you might have a good game, you might have a bad game, you might have a good game, they're going to have good games because they're talented.
Right.
Even if they drop back 40 times. And you're going to go, wow, why don't you do that all the time? And then you're going to show up next week and you're going to have a bad game and you're going to lose and you're going to win 10 games instead of 14 games. And and then the playoffs are going to be nip and tuck and you might lose in the divisional round. So I think you're saying, how do you win at the Eagles standard, which is now the whole thing? Well, you can't win the whole thing probably that way with this team as it's currently built. And then you have to recede back in the off season and say, all right, if we can't do this anymore, we have to do some things differently when it comes to acquiring players and playing and coaches and all that kind of stuff.
Last year, you had the 31st ranked passing offense, and it largely didn't matter as much as we talked about it. Obviously, they went on to win the Super Bowl. They were one of the most historic running games of all time. All right, so you lose the running game this year, and the passing game is still where it is. It's like something's
got a little bit better. I've been checked.
Is it up from 31?
Well, it's up from 31.
Yeah, they did throw for 280 last week, so maybe it is up a little bit, a small smidge. It might be 28th or 29th.
There's some bad ones. It might have went up a couple spots. I haven't checked, but it might have went up a little bit because you got the New York Jets out there and teams like that. But
which I never want to be mentioned in a conversation with them anyway. So good Lord.
But that's how bad some of these passing attacks have gotten. So, but it's still not good. I mean, you're not trying to say it's good. And I think that's what frustrates everybody because they think it should be good. But really, there hasn't been a ton of evidence unless you go back to 2022. That's how far back you got to go to say where it's above average.
And if you're Howie Roseman, John, what's the thought process right now? Is there a sweeping move you look? Do one of those big trades that we speculated on early, do they become more realistic? Do you think they would go down that road, or would any move more align with the Temu offseason that they had and just go for, cheaper, high upside players? And then obviously just address the speculation. Still a lot of this A.J. Brown talk, John, about, whether they would trade him. We talked a lot about it a little bit pre-show, but I do want you to share on that because Diana, John, she is plugged in. I mean, she knows about the league. Now, that doesn't mean, there's some context to add to what she's put out there, but it's not some aggregator saying we're going to trade AJ Brown. Not that she said that, but just talk on that, and then maybe the
it hasn't changed. And I wrote about this on Sports Illustrated. Everybody can check it out if they want, but nothing's changed. I think the view from outside the building is steeped in sort of typical, like I say, there's a playbook in the NFL for disgruntled receivers, and everybody outside the organization is using that playbook, and that's, well, he's trying to force himself out, and maybe you can get him. And there's inside the building, there's been no evidence of that. I mean, that's not Howie's MO, is trading good players and letting them leave. His MO is to,
particularly in the middle of the season.
is to get them in the building. So I think, a lot of that is manufactured from outside. And really, if you go all the way back to the people in Boston, they're trying to get a receiver. Now, not so much because they have Diggs and he's playing well. And they're playing well. They've been one of the surprise teams because AJ always had a good relationship with Mike Vrabel. So it was all the speculation based on that. Mike Vrabel never wanted to trade him. That was an organizational decision, even more than John Robinson, who lost his job over it, because they didn't want to pay AJ what he was going to get paid, basically. So everybody puts the Mike Vrabel thing together. Oh, maybe New England will go get him, yada, yada, yada. Same thing's happening now. They're saying, well, he's disgruntled. Maybe you can get him. Let's call. And, people are trying, but Howie to this point has said, yeah, we're not trading him. So it's really from outside of Philadelphia. And even if you read Diana's report.
That's what I was going to say. She did say Philadelphia insists they have no interest in trading him.
Yeah. It's people outside because they think, well, disgruntled receiver, that's how it works. Let's call. So, but
do you think there would be a point though where Howie, or maybe even Jeffrey, does say, hey, the juice is not worth the squeeze on this. AJ is it kind of, he has created some drama, for better or for worse. It is what it is, but he has. Jeffrey Lurie doesn't particularly love that. And with an offense that doesn't utilize him as much as, they could, do we ever get to a breaking point there? Or you think, no, good player, they're not moving on?
Well, any player can force himself out of any situation. I always say, if they really, really want to. I don't see AJ going down that route. I don't think he's that type of person. But anybody can do that if they really, really want to. The Jeffrey Lurie aspect, you're right. I mean, because a move of that nature, Jeffrey's got to get involved at some point. And you mentioned this last week, so I checked into it a little bit, as much as you can, because Jeffrey's very cloistered. He does not like this offense. He has not changed.
I tried telling somebody that on Friday. I'm like, anybody that's been around here knows Jeffrey Lurie's always dreamed of a high flying offense, man.
Yeah. So I don't think, the old addition by subtraction, sending out a good, and think about where people forget, people get spoiled very, very quickly. We got to bring our buddy Jeff Kerr up here, but they get spoiled very, very quickly because remember how bad this team was at wide receiver before Devontae showed up first and then AJ? Remember how bad it was? Remember what Carson Wentz was forced to throw to when he stinks when he's throwing I mean, and all of a sudden he's throwing for 300 yards because magically he's got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Yeah. I mean, be careful what you wish for. I'll say that
No
wide
doubt about it.
receiver.
We'll see how it all progresses. We do have week 7 coming up, week 6. So we have 2 games left in week 6. They'll commence tonight. So we do have a Monday night doubleheader. I'm going to read these games.
Stop that, NFL.
I think it's Commanders, Bears, and it's Bills, Falcons, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Bills at Falcons tonight, and then Bears at Commanders tonight. So an NFC East team on tonight. I'm sure everybody will be tuned in for that. That'll be a good game to see how the Bears stack up versus that Commanders team. Is everybody healthy, or is Jaden playing in that game? Yeah, Jaden's good, so he'll play in that game. So we'll be watching that tonight, and that'll wrap up week 6. Speaking of wrapping up, the Penn State Nittany Lions have wrapped up the James Franklin tenure, and he is done and dusted. Let's go to our main man, Jeff Kerr, joining us right here on Birds 365. He's donning the Penn State merch here on a Monday morning. Jeff, welcome to the program, my friend.
I think Jeff's celebrating. You going to spike the football? Poor James Franklin and his $50 million buyout.
I mean, the decision was made Saturday night, a day before it all came out. Like, there were reports coming out Sunday morning. Oh, Penn State's discussing James Franklin's future. I'm like, no, it's already discussed. He's gone. So
yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm going to be a contrarian here. I've always told you, Jeff, I think modern college football is about recruiting. I think he's one of the best recruiters in the country. You've already seen how many 4- and 5-star recruits have gone back on their commitment to Penn State already.
At least 4.
And they might come back. It's not the end of the world. But, I mean, to me, that's number one. At recruiting in modern college football. Now, the second part is the blue blood aspect. And here's where I'm going to rip Jeff Kerr and his Penn State acolytes. You guys have this mentality that you should be Alabama, that you should be Ohio State. And I don't think there's any evidence of that other than you won a lot over the past number of years when he's been there, but you haven't been able to beat top 5 teams. But that doesn't mean you can't in the future. And it only takes 1 year. And I said it's baked in before you got on. It's baked in the modern college football environment in the NIL era. And even Alabama and Zander's alma mater, they had a down year for them. These years are going to happen. And then the second part of it is these goofballs who vote, well, Texas and Penn State are the best teams in the country. And they both stink.
Both of
them. People are like, well, they should be the best teams in the country. Maybe they're not the best teams in the country. Anybody ever think of that? And some idiot who doesn't know anything is judging them to be the best team before anybody played one snap of football? I don't know. I think, but my issue is if you got to pay $50 million to get out of the contract with this guy, with his performance and his record, are you sure you're going to be better?
I've said for years it's going to be tough to replace him. I mean, okay, you want to fire him? Fine, fire him. Who are you replacing with? I think that was always my argument to not fire him. The reason why he's gone is simple. All these years he made excuses. Well, I don't have the 5-star quarterback. I don't have the 5-star running back. I don't have this, and we're winning 10, 11 games. Okay, I don't have the NIL money. Okay, Penn State got that together. I can't compete in modern college football with the Dabo Sweeneys and the Nick Sabans and the Urban Meyers and the Ryan Days and the Jim Harbaughs. Okay, this is the most expensive Penn State roster ever created. This is the most talented Penn State roster ever created. That's what he said, his words. And you can't beat UCLA and Northwestern?
Well, that's a bad loss. Those are bad losses.
And you know what? He lost that locker room. He did. He lost it. And Drew Auer was not what – he failed Drew Auer. Drew Auer was never what people thought, but he failed him, never developed, had a quarterback play in a system that wasn't tailored for him, he had 2 running backs playing the system that wasn't tailored for them. They could never get a wide receiver. Tyler Warren and Abdul Carter were a lot better than people thought. It was just a
Well, yeah,
calamity.
they're pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
but it was pretty much, all right, James, we gave you everything you wanted, and by the way, you're worse. He just didn't have an opportunity.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My
It's weird.
mentality is, and I go through the Eagles with, the change to everybody wants to blame the coach, and I get it. I mean, I don't think he's a tremendous game day coach, to say the least, but it's like, weren't they a play away from the national championship
They
game
were.
last year?
Yeah. Well, think about this, John. 15 days ago, James Franklin's on College Game Day with Pat McAfee on top of the world. Like, all he had to do was beat Oregon. And I think the UCLA loss really.
Well, yeah,
opened things
that's
up.
well, the problem is too, and that's where you lose, I guess, the kids, and it's tough to blame, they're so young. But when you lose that Oregon game, remember, I think everybody still has that mindset of, hey, we're contenders for the national championship. We can't lose. You can lose twice now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's changed completely.
Yeah.
But Alabama, they lost the first game. Everyone, I mean, me included. Oh my God, no, they're like they're going to be a top 5 ranked team already again.
Yeah.
I think what happened was, after the UCLA game, it's like, okay, even if Penn State wins out, beats Ohio State, beats Indiana, and again, this story has happened already around here. Only Penn State can beat a team, beat a team, win a conference, not make the playoff, and the team they beat makes the playoff. They can't even win their own damn division, but they got into the playoff. That's why I get mad at college
look
football.
at last year. Look at last year with Ohio State. They lose to Michigan, who's playing a walk-on, I think, at quarterback. And everybody wants Ryan Day out that moment.
Oh, Ryan Day was gone until he wasn't.
And then he won the national championship. It's like it's a different landscape.
It is, but I think Penn State, a lot of boosters, a lot of alums, myself included. Look, I'm not saying we're Ohio State and Michigan, because we're not, but 20 years ago, I can make the argument. What is so great about Michigan? What is so great about Ohio State? Michigan's last sold national championship was 1948. Ohio State's last sold national championship was 1960. Don't tell me you're better than Penn State at anything. Well, now they are. And I think that's the reality that Penn State can't sink in. Ohio State and Michigan caught up to modern times. Penn State has.
Penn State's right there, though, guys. I mean,
I agree.
They're top 10 pending. They're up there. I mean, that's one thing I think Franklin does deserve credit for, coming out of obviously a rocky end of the last regime. He has put them back in the limelight. But I agree with you, John. I mean, what are the expectations if you damn near make it to a natty chip? But he lost the locker room, and I guess they just
I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 5 AP top 10 finishes, 7 top 20, 6 10-win seasons,
6 New Year's, 6 bowl wins, I think.
6 bowl wins, New Year's bowl wins, big bowls.
Yeah.
Like, and you're paying $50 million to get away from that on top of it?
I think the mistake was when Sandy Barber, who was the last AD here, gave him that contract after a 7-5 season. That's what I thought. But he's responded with 10 wins, 13 wins. I think that's so he's lived up to the quote unquote contract. But
and you mentioned some of the players that most recently, Abdul Carter, Tyler Warren.
He's produced NFL talent. There's a lot of NFL talent that come out of Penn State.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable.
What bothers me about this whole thing is, and I work with some of these people, I had to listen to a podcast last night telling me Indiana is a better college football job than Penn State. What are you, nuts?
No,
if Kurt Cignetti got fired at Indiana today, I guarantee you it wouldn't have been on the halftime show of the NFL today. Give me a damn break.
So here's my
I agree with you on that, Kerr.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe.
Penn State next head coach favorites, the betting odds. Matt Rule's the favorite.
I'm not a fan of that, by the way.
Bill O'Brien, number 2. Kurt Signetti, Indiana coach. Lane Kiffin, Manny Diaz, Urban Meyer. Come on, he's not coming.
All right, so I'm going to laugh here. Of the names I was already told and heard, and
Matt Campbell. How about Matt Campbell?
Matt
I like
Campbell. Matt Campbell's
Campbell's
actually one of the
excellent.
names I've heard.
He would be an excellent candidate.
Mike Elko from Texas A&M, I've heard too.
Ooh, I don't like that.
I've heard
Unless you're paying a lot of money.
yeah, I've heard Will Stein, the Oregon offensive coordinator.
How about Nick Saban? Bring Nick Saban in.
Yeah.
I think a guy like Campbell makes sense because you got to get somebody who's at a little bit of a smaller program who has the pedigree to potentially be one of those guys
and who produces NFL talent. Like he's won at Iowa State with a Brock Purdy.
He's got
Dave Montgomery. He had
Rocco Becht is his quarterback. Anthony Becht comes on our shows all the time. He was on a couple weeks ago. Rocco Becht is Anthony Becht's son. He's the starting quarterback at Iowa State.
Yeah, Matt Campbell grooms players for the NFL. I think
he's good, and the players there love him. They do. He's
a
good friend of Nick Sirianni too. Good friend.
Is he Matt Campbell?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what Penn State does, but it was a little bit of a surprise to see them fire him mid-season like this. But what they lose? They lost to Oregon, UCLA, and then Northwestern, 3 in a row, right?
And Northwestern is not a good football team.
No.
UCLA.
UCLA, Jeff, they were bad.
By the way, how bad is Deshaun Foster as a coach? UCLA's won 2 in a row.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, they have some talent. They got that Tennessee quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the thing. It's not like they were – it's just the optics. Like, no top 10 team has ever lost to a winless football team in October since 1987.
Well, that's what I don't like about polls. Like, literally, they had Texas and Penn State as 1-2, and they were both out of the top 25 going into last week. I mean – if that doesn't prove to you what polls mean or the lack of what polls mean, I don't know what would.
Why do we still have the poll with the playoff?
I don't know. Good question. I mean, yeah, power polls in the NFL, which are just as stupid when people bring them up, but nobody really cares about them. But because polls have meant so much over the years to college football, people really pay attention to them, and people really think Texas should be the number 1 team in the country, even though they see Arch Manning play every week and he stinks. I mean, why should they be the number 1 team in the country? Because his name is Manning?
Yeah, I guess that was brutal.
Yeah.
Arch Manning does stink.
By the way, that ain't Peyton's son either.
No.
It's Cooper.
All right, Jeff, let's roll here. Question for you on the Eagles. You were what? We 4 days about removed from that loss. What's the evolved thought process on the Eagles' loss to the Giants after seeing some of NFL Week 6 yesterday? 2 games still to play in Week 6, but just your kind of evolved thoughts. I know we talked to you Friday immediately after the game. Where's your head here on a Monday morning?
There's no team in the NFL that scares me. Let's just put it that way. Like I was very unimpressed with a lot.
Oh my God, it was what a bad weekend for the projected good teams, I guess.
I mean,
like there's no good team. There's nobody you can hang your hat on and say this is a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tampa to me looks like the best team in the NFC.
Oh, that can't be.
I know, and
be.
and the Eagles beat them.
They're winning with all this. They're winning with all these injuries, man. I wonder how good they're going to be if they get everybody healthy.
By the way, I want to ask you about that, Jeff, because you were there. I can't say who said it, but a very young Eagles player said the league is soft. There are so many injuries. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No.
I mean, there used to be things guys would play through. What has changed? Because I think it's more league mandated, organization mandated. I don't know if it's the legal indemnity aspect, if they don't want to get sued. But guys sit now when they used to play through things. And you have all these players out. And there's some bad football because the backups aren't any good.
I mean, look at yesterday. Puka Nacua, what, he injured an ankle? Was he
I think it ended up being an ankle. They called it a foot. I think it's
Yeah.
an ankle.
And
now.
Emeka Buka got hurt yesterday. Like, teams are just, they're dropping players like flies. Like, Eagles are actually one of the more healthier teams.
I know. That's why it can't. People say, well, the injuries. Look at everybody else.
Look at Detroit last night. They had to go against Patrick Mahomes with all those cornerbacks out.
Unbelievable.
They had Avonte Maddox rolling out there.
No, Avonte was hurt.
I know, yeah, he got hurt, but last
Yeah.
week they had him rolling out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, they're just beaten up. It's terrible. Like, by the way, the best game of the night I thought was Kansas City and Detroit.
Yeah. It's interesting because Detroit, they got the ball first and roll right down. I think it was a 9.5-minute drive. And typical Detroit, they're just mowing them down. Awesome drive. And they do the trick play on point. And it's a penalty because Jared Goff doesn't line up. I'm like, what? Why?
You have Dave Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Punch it in.
They're doing, and it was great. Everybody's loving it. What a block by St. Brown, and Jared Goff catches the touchdown, and everyone, wow, how creative. And he doesn't line up right. And they talk it over, and it's a 5-yard penalty, and you got to take the field goal.
Oh, by the way, John, I know you don't follow this stuff on Twitter. Somehow it popped up on my feed. But Giants writers have been talking some crap on the Eagles recently.
No, I don't pay attention.
It's really funny, right? So
yeah,
they actually had the stones to criticize the NFL for giving Goff a false start and mentioned the tush push. And I said, you know what? First off, shut up. You won one freaking game against the Eagles. Your team is still a joke.
They deserve some credit, dude.
I don't care. It's like you got one punch in and you won one round out of 12. Fine. But
I'm just saying, we got this stacked roster. We make excuses for injuries. Jackson Dart's missing Malik Neighbors. He's throwing to Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, and
Jordan Humphrey.
And he walks in and beats the big bad Eagle. I mean, he deserves credit for that.
You played them on a short week in week 6. I don't give a shit.
It is what it is. I mean, look, you can add all the variables in them.
They deserve credit. But I will say if there's any writer covering any team, like talking shit about another team, I mean, you should get in another profession. That's not your job.
And that's what I'm just laughing at.
Is it reporters or is it like Giants?
No, it's reporters.
No, that's a bad look.
Esteemed reporters too. Yeah. And I'm laughing. I'm like, wait a minute. Did your head coach just have questionable legality on Thursday?
Well, team reporters aren't real reporters. Let's be honest. If you're talking about guys who work for the organization,
for the actual team, right?
Yeah. If that's what you're talking about, I don't know. If
it just bothers me as someone who covers the league. Like, I'm just like, why do you care so much if your team wins or loses? I don't get it.
I'll tell you what, that Giants team is a good story. I mean, what quarterback had more talent around him on Thursday night? The guy with Wan'Dale Robinson and Lil Jordan Humphrey, or A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and
Giants' offensive line played better than the Eagles' offensive line on Thursday night.
Well, maybe it boils down to that, as it normally does in the NFL.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the Giants have a pass rush miles above the shit the Eagles put out.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I said that going in. That's the one advantage they had, obviously. And they have a legit big time pass rush. And the Eagles are struggling there. That to me is the biggest concern. I actually thought, Jeff, that the offense showed some signs.
I did too when I rewatched the game.
They ran it a little bit better. They obviously threw it better. Now you can't have the turnover, but that's what happens when you're behind. I mean, you press and you get the ball's a little bit off, and
they trailed the whole game essentially.
Yeah, but defensively, that's the first time where I said, "Oof, that was pretty bad." In the Vic Fangio era.
Yeah, well, talent wins games, and when you got Adoree Jackson, Giants cast off Adoree Jackson, and Kelee Ringo, who couldn't cover Zander Krause.
I think Ringo could cover me, Jack.
The way I see it, you can't cover it. I like Kaylee too, but it's.
But that's the point,
Bam.
though. I mean, you can't just say, well, they didn't have Jalen Carter. They didn't have Quinyon Mitchell after, for basically 3+ quarters. Yeah, those are difficult injuries. But again, look at everybody else.
Yeah, look around the
You
league.
got to persevere better
Xander
than
pointed
that.
out. Like Xander pointed out, no Malik Neighbors for the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I get this off my chest while we're talking about teams from the Meadowlands? Aaron Glenn is out of his gourd.
Oh my God, he's one and done. You got to get rid of him.
He's a bad coach. His players are even checking out now. It's only 6 games in.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, that's an organizational failure. You're trying to sell Justin Fields to people. I mean, the guy can't process. I remember when he was in Chicago. That's when I rolled out. He processes like a sundial. I'm sure I'm not the first one.
Yeah, but the way they did that too is an even worse look. Remember they flew Aaron Rodgers in to tell him he wasn't good. I mean, that spoke of like, oh, I'm on my high horse. Get out of here. All right, you sent out Aaron Rodgers. 50-year-old Aaron Rodgers is better than.
Oh my God!
I'm happy for Aaron Rodgers. He's got a nice little gig in Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, yes, he's going to win that division. Baltimore collapsed. Cincinnati doesn't have Joe Burrow.
Man, how about
they're
Baltimore?
terrible?
I get it, no Lamar, but holy moly, what are they? 1-5 right now.
1-5. Cleveland's starting Dylan Gabriel. I mean, that division is brutal.
I'll tell you what, Cleveland looked really bad against Pittsburgh yesterday. Like
really
Pittsburgh,
bad.
Like Pittsburgh, John's right. They're going to win that division easily, but Pittsburgh just looked like they were on another class. I don't know.
And they're not that good.
No.
It's just everybody else is that bad in that particular division. But, boy, I mean, I think they had -10 net passing yards.
Yeah. Justin Fields, under pressure, was 1 for 5 for -1 yards. And that's gross passing yards. That's not even net.
Jeff, where are you on contender, pretender talk? Like, we got some good teams. I'll give you a couple teams, on contender, pretender. You got Seahawks, 4-2, Rams, 4-2, 49ers, 4-2, Bucks, 5-1, Panthers, 3-3. NFC North, you got Packers 3-1-1, Lions 4-2, Vikings are 3-2. They're on the bye week this past weekend. Eagles 4-2, Commanders 3-2. They play tonight. A lot in the NFC. There's a lot of teams, and I think there's plenty in the AFC as well. Any real pretenders that are sticking out to you?
Pretenders or contenders?
Go pretenders first.
Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough, right? Because look, I think the Seahawks are a contender. I love what they did in Jacksonville.
I do. I think the Seahawks are real. I think they could be real.
I'm not. Look, Colts are number 1 seed in the AFC, and I'm just not sold on them yet. I don't know what it is. It might be
Daniel Jones. Nobody believes in him.
What about the Patriots? Contender, pretender?
I like Drake May. He's the
I do
young
too.
quarterback.
Yeah. Drake May plays good quarterback, and
I liked a lot of what the Patriots did this offseason. I said they were going to surprise some people. Now, surprise, I thought meant 8 or 9 wins, which looks like that's going to be the case. But
if Buffalo loses tonight, they're in first place.
Yeah,
it's Drake May. I mean, they have a good coach. Here's the thing: they have a good coach now, and Mike Vrabel. And they have a good offensive coordinator. He's a shitty head coach, but he's a good offensive coordinator in Josh McDaniels. And that's pretty good, man.
And they have a good quarterback.
Drake May.
Yeah, Drake May looks really good. There's no
Stephon Diggs looks pretty good too.
I can't get over the AFC North is almost hilarious. I mean,
it's
4-1 Steelers. The Bengals are 2-4. The Ravens are 1-5, and the Browns are 1-5.
Yeah.
It's like holy moly!
You knew the Browns weren't going to be good, but
right. And you honestly probably knew the Bengals wouldn't be great because they're
well, they're there. If Joe's there,
Joe Burrow,
they're a legitimate contender in that division.
Yeah, if Joe's there, they're a playoff team right now.
I know, but even last year, Joe Burrow had damn near MVP numbers, and they couldn't get to the playoffs because the defense was so bad.
But this year they were 2-0. Like they got off their slow start, and then he got hurt. But the Ravens, like before yesterday, their defense allowed 37+ points per game, in 4 games. Now their defense plays well yesterday. And of course, the offense can't get anything going. Now they're going to get Lamar back next week, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, it's too late.
Is Baker the MVP of the league right now through
Yes.
6
Yes.
weeks?
I think Daniel Jones is, but I
think
think
it's neck and neck. I think it's those two.
I
You know
think-
what?
I
Sam
think
Darnold's got
I-
a case too.
I think, yeah, Sam's better than both of them, to be honest. But I think Baker would win it because I think too many people would say, well, Taylor is having a great year as well in Indy. So I think they take that away from Daniel. But I would personally, and I have a vote, I would personally vote for Daniel Jones right now over Baker Mayfield. And Sam's better than both of them. He just is.
Yeah, I mean, just Baker's just not throwing to many people right now. Like Ibuka got hurt yesterday. Did what's his name play? Did Godwin play? I don't even think
Godwin was out.
played.
Godwin
He was
was
out.
out.
Mike
He
Evans
was
was out. So, I mean, he's throwing to Cameron Johnson and Sterling Shepard. You know? I mean, Baker's playing good football too.
And he didn't have a starting running back. He missed his.
Yeah, Bucky Irving was out.
Yeah, we are forbidden from using injury excuse in Philadelphia right now. That is not a valid.
But remember who they were playing as
49ers
well,
team that was beat
and
up.
how many injuries do they have?
And now Fred Warner's done. It's man.
Oh my God, they lose Fred Warner. And by the way, Mac Jones is a starting quarterback in this league.
Mac Jones played on one leg yesterday.
Go ask Devontae Smith what he thinks of Mac Jones.
Oh,
He
he'll
got a
tell you.
Heisman Trophy on his shelf because Mac Jones threw him the ball so well.
Mac
I've
Jones
always,
is a good
I've always
quarterback.
laughed at the Mac Jones fodder. I mean,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
I get it. He's probably a guy that needs to be in
Look
a
at these
perfect
guys.
spot.
Look at we just mentioned one at the top. Really, all three that we just mentioned: Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Mac Jones throw in that category.
Yep.
Jared Goff.
All first-round picks who were sent out from their original organization.
And they
Mac
can
Jones
all play.
Mac Jones has been on what? 3 teams now? The 49ers is third team?
Yep, because he was on the Jaguars. He was
Yeah.
the Patriots, Jaguars. Now they're here.
And they
By the
can
way,
all- and
I
so
thought
many people, because they have that in their minds. Oh, he can't play. Daniel Jones can't play. Well, watch him every week. When he's got an offensive line, that Indy offensive line is very good.
when he's out of New York, he can play.
Yeah. And he's got a running back, he's got a running game, he's got an offensive line. The receivers are pretty good. Shane's a good coach. Voila.
Tying it back, this is my fear about the Eagles because those are all quarterbacks that are, they're pocket passers, they're timing throws, they're those type of players. And when you lose a lot of players or you don't have the perfect team around you, that's the best way to get your offense moving in the NFL. Jalen is not that player, that type of quarterback. With Saquon running the way he is, with the offensive line not playing the way or playing the way they are, not up to the Eagles' usual standard, how do the Eagles make up for what they're missing in that area if Jalen can't pass the ball, as effectively as some of these other guys with the receivers yet? That's, I think, the biggest concern with the Eagles right now is how do they play offense if they can't rely on the run, can't rely on the offensive line to the level they have in the past? Is it bring back the RPO fully?
Well, you can't do that because you'll have 57 illegal man downfield penalties.
Yeah.
You got to use that judiciously, but I mean, we've been having that discussion for years. I mean, look, people are enamored with dual threat quarterbacks. Now, now Jalen's better equipped to handle shit breaking down and make plays than those other guys. All those other guys, with the exception of Baker a little bit, they need everything around them to be humming. Jared Goff being the best example, because Jared Goff, if you keep Jared Goff clean, you're screwed as a defense. I mean, that guy,
They'll surgically dice you.
It is so accurate. It's scary. But the minute he's behind and Spagnuolo can, get the blitz going, he's not doing, he's not moving out of the pocket. He's not extending plays. He's not hurting it. So it depends how you look at it. It's a give and take. Jalen, Spagnuolo sends the blitz to Jalen. He can extend plays. He can get out of it. Can gouge him that way. But if you want an on-time, on-schedule offense that's humming and has a good offensive line, you probably want the other style. And I say it all the time when people get upset about all these lists with executives. They don't want to play the way the Eagles play. So that's why they value some of these other quarterbacks more, because they want to play a more traditional sort of style of football. Doesn't make it better, doesn't make it worse. It's just the reality of it.
And it can technically, it's a better style to play against more of the typical adversity you'd face in an NFL season. If your offensive line is not the best offensive line in history, if you're running in history, if your defense isn't holding teams to 16 or 17 points a game like they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're struggling on the offensive line, you want a guy who's going to get the football out on time and fast. Justin Fields being the worst of that. You saw yesterday. Ed Kratz put out something yesterday. My buddy Ed Kratz, 9 sacks Denver had yesterday. And he compared Denver's got I don't know how many sacks, and the Eagles have so many sacks. I go, it's what the Eagles might have 7 sacks against Justin Fields. With the worst, if he's going to hold on to the ball like that.
Yeah, right.
Like you said, Johnny, process is like a sundial.
Yeah.
But they don't play Justin Fields this year.
Exactly.
Ed would have had a better case if, the Broncos had the most sacks in the NFL since the start of last year, which they did.
Yeah, it's a good pass rushing team, but you're going to get those spikes when you're playing a guy who's going to hold on to the football. Jalen Hurts holds on to the football, not to the level of Justin Fields, but too often the ball doesn't come out on time. So
when the Eagles sack numbers will go up when they play the Raiders if Geno Smith's still the quarterback.
Yeah, Geno's not great, but even there are certain guys that are going to let you sack them, and certain guys who aren't. Matthew Stafford early in the season, he's going to get rid of the football.
Also, how bad are the Titans? My
God, come on.
Does Cam Ward stink, or is he just on the Titans?
No. Brian Callahan's the worst coach in football, and I'm saying that with Aaron Glenn around.
Brian Callahan, I don't get that one. I mean, I
don't either.
Understand why someone hired Aaron Glenn a little bit.
Cam Ward also stinks, but all rookie quarterbacks stink. The question is, can you develop them to get to where they're Drake May versus?
Yeah, I mean, you just talked about it. You just named 5 quarterbacks a couple minutes ago. Darnold, Baker, they're all first-round players who are on new teams who are thriving in the NFL.
Last year, Drake May, I thought, had a really good year despite all the dreck around him.
Me too, Jeff.
And I was like, okay, let's see what they do this all. They did the smart thing. They fired Gerard Mayo after 1 year. They got Vrabel in, so they got stability there. He brought in Josh McDaniels. That's a positive. You bring in Stephon Diggs, draft a bunch of young receivers, draft Travion Henderson, and you fix the offensive line. You're seeing the result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4-2. They look good, too. They look promising.
Drake May had 2 50-yard passes taken away from him yesterday by offensive pass interference penalties, too. He could have had an even bigger day.
Questionable ones, too.
Yeah, they were very questionable.
So where does the Eagles offense go from here? Is it simply boiled down to they have to start being able to run the football better, or it's going to look bleak? Is that the simple answer in simple terms?
Yeah, they do have to run the football. It's
I mean, if your standard,
like we just talked about Jalen, he's built a certain way. The offense is built a certain way. They have to thrive in that area, or it's not going to work. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
To me, there's too many men in the box. The +1's getting taken away, and there just isn't holes there for Saquon Barkley, and it's really hurting what this team wants to do, which just brings back to what AJ Brown wants. Well, we got to pass more to open up the run. Well, teams are still stopping the run even though you opened up the pass. Now what?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it depends on your standard. The standard of the Eagles is Super Bowl. And if they want to win another Super Bowl, they have to run the football. Can they win? They're going to win more games than they lose if they turn into a pass first team and they average 3.5 yards per carry, because they are talented, but they're going to win 10 games or 11 games or something like that. And they're going to lose a bunch of games, and they're going to lose in the playoffs, and people are going to be upset. Not that they'll be bad. They'll just be a run-of-the-mill NFL good team unless they get that running game going. That's their wheelhouse. And this week is a perfect opportunity because Minnesota's very bad defending the run, especially if Blake Cashman doesn't come back. They have Eric Wilson playing middle linebacker. Not good.
Eric Wilson's still their middle linebacker. It's actually incredible.
Well, Blake Cashman is, but he's been hurt with a hamstring.
Yeah, I know, but it's just funny how Eric Wilson's still around.
Yeah, well, that's the NFL, man. And Van Ginkel's been out. We talk about injuries again. That's another team. They were down 5 offensive linemen in London.
If the pass rush can't get it going against Minnesota,
I don't know who's coming back. Some of them are coming back, I assume. Kelly's on injured reserve, so he's not coming back.
Well, we'll find out this week. They were on the bye this week.
Donovan Jackson might be back. Darisaul's back. O'Neal might be back. And then all of a sudden, all right, it becomes a more difficult game if those guys are back. If they're not, should be an easy game. And it depends who they're going to play quarterback. I mean, if they play J.J. McCarthy, it should be a layup.
I mean, we thought last week was going to be an easy game too, with Jackson Dart throwing to little Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah, we really don't know.
I mean, I'm a Jackson Dart fan, but I was not under the impression that Jackson Dart was equipped to come in and beat the Eagles.
No, but I'll tell you what, I will say this about Jackson Dart. There's guys he's got the moxie to play, like he's got confidence to play that position.
Yeah.
So if you watched JJ early in the season, because they had that brutal doubleheader. I think they had Monday night and Sunday night. So we had to watch that team with Jay. He's got no confidence. He doesn't have that. Like, it doesn't look like he believes in himself.
That was like the big argument for Giants fans and media with Dart when Russell Wilson was struggling. Even in week 2, they're like, well, Jackson Dart, he showed in the preseason he can play. And meaning, like, he is not afraid to play. I think that's the most positive. Because I assume, and I've said on the show, I assume Vic's going to eat alive young quarterbacks. That was the most impressive thing to me watching the game, Jackson Dart. That dude thinks he's good, and that's important. Yeah, that's why the Giants are going to be okay, because he's not going to just go out like a pumpkin. Like, I don't think Daniel Jones ever. I think his confidence went down every single year. He needed to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, when Daniel Jones came in, I saw an ounce of confidence in him. But then, you get sacked all the time. You get hurt. Things aren't going right for you. You have a couple bad games. And it's like, okay, they just build me as a savior. I don't think they're building Jackson Dart as the savior in New York because they've been so bad forever.
Well, and I don't know if he can hold up. And he won't be able to hold up if he plays that style. He almost had to leave that game. Brian Daboll didn't get him out of the injury tent. So I don't know if his style's going to hold up, but I was impressed by his moxie. I was, because he believes in himself. And playing quarterback in this league, you better believe in yourself. And he does. He's got that Baker Mayfield-esque belief in himself.
So what's the outlook then moving forward with the Eagles offense this year?
Get the running game going.
Yeah, get the running game going.
Does it get going? I mean, let's just assume the offensive line. I don't know. Does anybody think Landon Dickerson's going to get more healthy mid-season? I don't. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does.
Well, I think he's going to sit out.
If he's out a month, he will. Yeah.
No,
I mean, look, you have to look at the schedule right now. So, Minnesota, I don't believe he's going to play. New York, I don't believe he's going to play. You got the bye week. Comes back what? Right. November 10th?
That's close to 4 weeks. Yeah,
so I think he gets healthier in that stretch. This is a weird stretch, by the way. Like, there's one home game. You play back-to-back road games. You had a mini bye. You got to bye after the home game you play. Then you go to Green Bay coming off the bye. And then Detroit comes here.
Yeah,
Then
those are the two tests in my mind.
Yeah. That Sunday night football game is going to be huge against Detroit. And the Monday night game against Green Bay.
Yeah, those are the two teams that might be good, might not be good. I can't look at any team and say they're really good.
Yeah, the Commanders are more than likely going to beat the Bears tonight. Everybody's going to hype them up because of Daniels.
Is Daniels
I'm
playing?
gonna give the Bucs some credit for winning games with a lot of injuries. I mean, Baker deserves a lot of credit for that. That team's I probably put them as the leader in the clubhouse for the NFC right now.
It's so weird with the Commanders too, because I think they're a good team, but I'm just not going to be sure they're a good team until they play a good team with a healthy Daniels again. I mean, they played the Packers on a short week in week
Marcus
2.
is playing well, by the way.
Yeah, he
Marcus
is.
Mariota.
But Daniels played really well last week against the Chargers. Chargers got lucky yesterday beating the Dolphins. The Dolphins beat themselves.
Dolphins are just
what a mess.
Poor Mike McDaniel.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say poor. I mean, he's lost that team.
But how about
Tua's comment? What is he trying to say?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, aren't you the leader? Are you not a captain? The quarterback?
Tua, I think some of those hits to the head, man.
I'm telling you, Zander, this has always been my theory. These people in this league can't admit Jalen Hurts, the guy who got benched for Tua, is better than Tua. They can't admit it.
Oh, I don't know. Who can't admit that? I don't know anybody in the NFL.
People that can't.
I don't know anybody.
Very different styles of player. Very different styles of player. Jalen overall is a better player. Sure.
I'm not talking about grifters. I'm talking about people in the league. I don't think anybody.
Well, people in the league don't tweet and they don't get 10,000 likes on stupid shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Miami will talk up their guy because they have to, but I don't think anybody in the league has any problem saying Jalen Hurts is better than Tua.
But you know how the media narrative works. It's Jalen's always been the guy who got benched for Tua.
Well,
so Jalen must not.
I mean, that part is factual.
It is, but the narrative.
Jalen didn't get benched for Tua because Tua was the better player. Jalen got benched for Tua because Tua was more equipped to get the ball downfield in the national championship.
And it worked.
And it worked. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not about Jalen is a better overall player. I agree. Jalen is not as good at Tua as getting the ball out on time and moving the ball downfield. Fair to say or no?
Oh, well. I mean, what the thing about Tua is he's got, impressive arm talent. He's a one-read quarterback, and if that first guy isn't open, he just chucks it anyway.
Yeah,
he's a turnover machine.
He does. Now the reading in the defenses too.
When it clicks, some of the throws are like, wow.
I'll tell you what,
get why he
Zander,
was.
It's been 8 years now. Man, Nick Saban's got a lot of cojones for doing that. I couldn't do it.
When you got better players than everybody else, how many cojones do you really have? You can go to your third string.
You go 13 straight games with a quarterback, and then you switch him out at halftime.
Not only 13 straight games, you went a whole year with this guy. You went to the national championship with this guy the year before.
Right.
Oh, by the way, he should have been in that.
They lost the year before.
Yeah,
I think Nick Saban's one of the best college coaches of all time. I say it constantly, but not because of that. I mean, he's a tremendous.
No, but I think Jeff is right. It was a big decision.
I mean, that's you want to talk about reading the room. That's reading the room.
Jalen was 26-2 as a starter. So for all the people who are we're 21-2, that's a lot of wins.
Well, it's a lot harder to go 21-2 in the NFL than 26-2 at Alabama.
That's
a lot harder.
Yeah, I think we gotten spoiled by the fact that the Eagles basically lost one game over the last calendar year.
Well, are we spoiled, or is it the reality that what we were is not going to last forever, and we've reached the end of what we were?
Well, that happens with every team.
But the end of the dominant 21-1.
Well, Zander, if anybody thought that was going to go on forever,
nobody did. But you still have to signify when the end happens. Did the end happen, or is it a blip in the radar, flush down the toilet?
We'll find out.
Eagles football.
We'll find out.
I don't think you can sustain 20-1 for a very long time. Can you sustain being a legitimate contender?
You can be 12-5 every year. I think.
Yeah. That's more realistic.
Which I still think they're a 12-win team, even with these 2 losses.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, there's nobody you sit and look at. So if you pick Tampa, I'll still pick Detroit when they get healthy. Jeff, what's your top NFC team?
I don't know. I get Detroit's gonna get healthy, but they haven't beaten anybody good.
Will they get healthy, man? They've
had a bad run.
Yeah, I mean
but the
Tampa.
point-
Will they get healthy?
My point of this exercise is: do any of those teams really scare you?
No one does. I just did the playoff standings for the first time last night, and I was like kind of chuckling. I'm like, these teams aren't any good.
Guys, we went 21. We keep talking about that 21-1, and I get why we do. It's historic, but 17 is
Eagles fans.
We're from last season, and last season there wasn't a team who matched our physicality in that run, or even came close to it. We got out physicaled on Thursday night
by a rookie running back,
Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah, by Cam Scatterbo.
I haven't seen us get out physicaled that way since before we went on that run.
The Tampa game was the last time, and
right.
the Eagles were so beat up in that game.
Exactly. That playoff game you're talking about, right?
Both Tampa games.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the game last.
Yeah, but both of them. No, but I'm glad you point out the Tampa playoff game because that happened too.
That's why I'm like, is this a switch? I mean, we got bullied. I've never seen us get bullied like that.
Well,
I've seen it, but
yeah, I mean,
recently. Yeah. I mean, recently. Like,
to me, that just came down to the offensive line. Like, I don't think they are more physical than other NFL teams. I think their offensive line was, and to a certain degree, they're deep. Then that's how they build it, and their defensive front as well.
I was, by the way, I was bothered by watching Denver and the Jets because I said, how did the Eagles lose to this Denver team? They had them in the bag.
I don't know how the Jets lost to that Denver team.
They shouldn't have. The Jets scored 8 of their 11 points off Denver miscues. If they were a good football team, they would have scored 20.
Yeah, I don't think Denver's that good.
They're not.
But
like that's the loss that bothers me more than the Giants loss.
Oh no, I can't go that far.
I can.
I mean, the Giants are a bad football team, and
they
will go back to being a bad football team. And that was a bad loss. You
mean you don't believe that they're going to win the NFC East and go to the Super Bowl and like everybody else in New York talks about? They're insane there, by the way.
They're a bad football. They remain a bad football team with a very good defensive line. I give them that. Yeah. Defensive front. That's the one thing they do have, and that's a good thing to have. They should build on that and continue to build the right way, and you see what happens. But they're at least a year away.
Or they might be a year away from being a year away.
Exactly. So yeah, Denver, kind of stole the game.
That's putting it nicely.
And the Eagles played.
The Giants flat out beat us. Denver stole it.
The Giants flat out beat you, which is
they pulverized you.
Yeah. So to me, that was the much, much, much worse loss. The Eagles were sticking up 17-3, and I was yawning at Denver. The Eagles kind of shot themselves in the foot.
I was a little distraught when the Eagles were down 17-3, but for other reasons.
Yeah.
It was not a good night. Not a good night.
Anybody who can see trends, though, look, this has not been a dominant year. We squeaked by a lot of the first couple wins that we had. I know we started 4-0, and everybody's all high on the 4-0 and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I asked you who's contender, pretender. Are the 2025 Eagles a contender or are they a pretender?
Well, I think they're a contender.
They're a contender. I'll tell you who's a pretender.
Mainly because everybody's could go either way. All these good teams, the 5-1, 4-2, they could be contenders or pretenders. The Eagles are in that category as well.
I'll tell you who's a pretender. I never saw so much trash talk from Dallas Cowboy fans that you can't even beat the Panthers.
Well, their offense is
I'll
amazing.
tell you what, that really good offense, man. Really good offense, really terrible defense.
Perhaps they should have kept that certain pass rusher that's doing pretty well in Green Bay.
Yeah, that might have helped them.
By
the way,
they'd be a contender.
If they have Micah Parsons, they're right there with the Eagles.
Yep, I agree. And that Commanders game is next week would be huge, but it's not because they can't stop anybody, and they're not going to stop Hayden Daniels.
Jerry's going to be Jerry, man.
By the way, happy birthday, Jerry Jones.
83.
Dak's playing great.
Dak is playing great.
Dak is playing great football.
Oh, Dak's amazing. Dak's a really good quarterback. George Pickens was a great trade. That's why I never understood why they traded Parsons. You had him. You had CeeDee Lamb.
Dak Prescott has turned George Pickens into the star so many thought he could be.
Yeah. It's amazing what happens if you have a good quarterback throwing to you.
Need a vehicle to get you the football, man.
What do you think? What do you think Devontae Smith would do in that offense?
A lot.
That's why I said. Remember last week on Friday, I said I think Devontae's a top receiver in both of you. Which rightfully, you're right. He's not a top 10 receiver right now, but I don't know. You put him in an offense like that.
You could say he's a top 25 receiver, right?
Yeah,
25. I'd say higher than that. Come on,
top 25's
I think he's
really
top
good.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good receivers in the NFL.
Yeah,
that is a position. That is a position that is wrought with talent.
Just get one from Ohio State, and you're usually pretty.
Yeah, right. Ohio, they produce wide receivers like it's a tree. It's crazy.
Jackson Smith-Njigba might be the best.
Oh my god!
Oh, that kid's a stud.
Well, give Sam some credit. Man.
Oh yeah, well that's why I like Sam going there because he got to throw to him.
Abuka, I know he
you saw St. Brown. St. Brown is unbelievable. Puka. Obviously, you have Chase. You see Chase catching balls with Joe Flacco.
Oh, it was fun. That was fun to watch yesterday.
You see DK Metcalf with Rodgers. Obviously, Justin Jefferson's phenomenal. You saw Sutton here. Jaylen Waddle, even with, Tua.
Player.
And poor Garrett Wilson. He's the guy I feel bad for. Because that dude can play, but you'll never know.
Nobody's talking about that he can play.
You know who's a stud? Brian Thomas.
Pickens.
Yeah, there's a lot of receivers right now in the NFL. There's no doubt.
There is a ton of big time receivers. Even guys like I really like Adunze from Chicago.
Yeah, me too, John.
Yeah, you're gonna see him tonight. Terry McLaurin.
Malik Neighbors got hurt, but he was phenomenal. Yeah, McLaurin. There's so many good receivers. That is a position where there's so much talent just because that's all they do in the offseason now, 7-on-7s. And so those guys are so far advanced. But
Nico Collins is a good receiver. We're not going to see him play this week. It's a bye.
Devontae's very good. I'm just saying he's not top 10. Come on, guys. But could he be George Pickens in Dallas with a quarterback like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Me too. I have a hard time believing a guy who runs routes as crisp as Devontae Smith.
Different style.
Yeah, no, I know, but he can't get he's struggling to get the ball in zone coverage. I'm like,
I think a better comparison would be Devontae Smith playing for the Lions. He'd be Amon Ra.
He'd be better than Jameson Williams. No, he wouldn't be Amon. No, he wouldn't be.
No, but I'm putting the comparison.
Better than St. Brown personally, but
no,
St. Brown's really good.
That dude's off the charts, man.
Dude, Devontae Smith is off the charts too if he was given the ball more.
Now, Jameson Williams, yes, he's better than Jameson Williams. St. Brown is.
I like Amon Ra. I don't say that to district. I think they're neck and neck. I mean, you take one, I'll take the other. I'm just saying, in the same style of offense, I think Devontae would just. I mean, again, I think St. Brown. It's not even a fair comp, but like. How many wide receivers have won the Heisman? You know what I mean? Like Devontae,
it is college,
talent that is crazy. Now he just doesn't have a high volume passing offense that he's involved in.
Yeah, I'm not going back to college, but St. Brown to me is top 5 in the NFL, top 5 easily. And I put Chase number 1. I still put Jefferson number 2. Those guys are 1, 2. You're not going to see it as much this year because Burrow's hurt and the Vikings, that worst decision ever. Could have had Sam Darnold. Could have had Daniel Jones. They said, nope, we don't need that.
Oh, we didn't even mention Justin Jefferson on this list of great receivers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
he's number 2. I put Puka number 3 right
Jamar,
now.
wait, did you have Jamar 1? You had to have Jamar 1.
Yeah,
right?
Jamar's 1.
Jamar's fucking
Justin's
Jamar is
2.
insane, dude.
Justin's
Love
2. Puka's 3. St. Brown is 4. And then I probably put early in the season, I probably put JSN 5 because she's so good. Smith and Jigba. Those are my top 5 right now as we speak today. And those are all superstar receivers.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out from here. I am a little bit just like, where does this offense go from here? Like, that's my biggest question right now. Is if you're struggling to block or struggling to run, I don't know where the offense goes from here because they're not equipped to play a different way. At least that's what it seems. That's what it seems. I don't know if there's an elephant in the room we're afraid to address or what. I mean, I don't know.
I address it all the time. I get no more hate than when I address it. But again, different styles. You build around. That's what I think people. I hate a quarterback evaluation because, the assumption that you build your offense around your quarterback. That's what the Eagles have done. Successful.
Yeah, but John, can you also say it's also built for another style? I mean, any of the passing quarterbacks that we named on today's show, any of them.
If you want
Arnold, Baker.
If you want another style of offense, fine. Get rid of the quarterback.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want to drop back, play action, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay.
I'm not
Kevin
saying I want to do that
offense.
I'm saying that we have to find more success with the playmakers that we have. I mean, we have playmakers that any of those quarterbacks would foam out the mouth to play with.
Well, and they probably foam out the mouth to play with them, but they're not.
They're not winning Super Bowls either.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan's offense looks great till February when he blows 10-point leads in Super Bowls.
But he's a hell of a play schemer.
Yeah, he is.
And
game day coach, he's horrible.
Can't manage a team to save his life.
The organization has a big part in that.
Look, John Harbaugh's a great coach, and people want him fired right now. So
yeah, he's got to get fired if this continues.
Oh yeah,
it won't. But yeah, everybody's got a shelf life, and John may have reached his shelf life in Baltimore. To be honest,
that's what happens when you win. Sometimes you're the victim of your own success.
Yeah. I mean, Andy had a shelf life here. Everybody's got a shelf life.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick had a shelf life.
Nick Sirianni will have a shelf life.
Yes. Well, he'll definitely have a shelf life. Kevin Petullo will have a shelf life.
The shelf life may be. People want him to be the head coach at Penn State. I'm like, you only want him here. Why would Penn State want him?
Well, I think that's a joke.
I think you're joking.
I know it's a joke, but it's a bad joke.
Yeah, well, it's a very bad joke. But
Kevin Petullo can't even coach Temple. He can't even coach Wyden.
Another loss. Did you see that Temple loss?
Oh, that was brutal.
I didn't see the Temple loss.
Oh my God.
Philly has not had a good week. The Flyers had an overtime game-winning goal taken away from them. They lose 30 seconds later. Man. The only good news that happened this weekend in Philly sports was Joel Embiid played in the blue-white scrimmage.
That ain't good news. That doesn't.
Him on the court.
I totally missed that. I'm shocked by that. I just assumed he was not going to play at the beginning of the season.
He played 5-on-5 and everything.
Wow, that is good news.
Jeff, are you going to give me some Sixer optimism today?
I'm not giving you any optimism. I'm just giving you the facts.
All right, I like that answer.
Playing in the blue-white scrimmage.
How many games will the Sixers win this year?
I have no idea.
How many games does the big goofball play?
Yeah, how many games does Joel Embiid and Paul George play? And then I can get back to you on
that. I mean, remember what's going on in the NBA. Tyrese Halliburton basically out for the season. Jason Tatum out for the season.
Cut their roster up a bit. Yeah,
you basically only have to beat the Knicks and Cleveland. And if you have those two guys for 60 games, But what are the odds you're going to have those two guys for 60 games?
Anybody else think the Knicks, they're not going to be an NBA championship team with that roster? Like they're going to be very good every single year, but
They're very good. Yeah. Well,
yeah. Unless the chips fall, they're not going to win.
That's the whole point. This is the year where the chips have already fallen for a bunch of teams. Like if you're a contender, a legit contender in the NBA in the East, you got to go for it this year.
You do. I agree. And I think the Knicks are trying to. I think that's why they're trying to trade for Giannis. I don't blame them.
Jeff, final question from me, my man. How much of this is on Kevin Patullo? Right now, looking at the offense ranks, they are 30th still in offense in yards per game. All right. And then if you look at the passing offense, they are 29th.
Yeah. Improvement up from last year.
30th overall. How much does the new offensive coordinator take on his plate to be, for blame at being one of the worst offenses?
I mean, it's part of it.
What percent? Give me a percent.
I'll go 30.
30 on Patullo. I think that's
players got to play too.
Players got to play, man. Players got to play.
Yeah, this is my problem.
Everybody
criticize Kevin, and I'm with you. I don't think Kevin's done a great. I don't think he's done things to make me impressed by him or remove him from any of the blame. But was it a bad play call when Devontae Smith had 50 yards between him and the next defense? I mean, he could have sat on his lap and caught that pass and still ran into the end zone. Was that a bad play call? That was bad execution.
See, that's the thing. Like I that's what I like about you, Zay. I think you could separate that a bit. I don't think people can. They look at Patullo and go, "Oh, Patullo does this. Patullo does this." Well, okay, yeah, I agree with you, but like you said, that's a missed opportunity. That might have changed the football game last week.
I've been preaching that for how long?
It definitely would have changed.
People do not judge play calls; they judge play results. I can't even tell you that was a good play call because that was a blown coverage.
If you want to judge a coach, watch halftime of the Jets-Broncos game yesterday. That's how you judge a coach.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's how you judge a coach. Like you want to blame a coach. I always think blaming the coach, blaming the manager is so lame.
It is.
It's so lame because that tells me you don't really know shit.
Yeah, but coaches do give advantages, right? Like you have great players. The NFL, how many great players have we named on this segment today? From receivers to quarterbacks to the job of the coaches, right, is to put them in the best positions for their talent to thrive in the NFL.
I really do.
I'm not of the belief this is where I would criticize Patullo. I'm not of the belief that he's done that with the talent that we have on this team. I'm just not. Just because you have AJ Brown doesn't mean, okay, AJ, you're AJ Brown. You should be able to always get open. Like, isn't the coach supposed to?
This is your issue with Patullo. I think this is people's issue. It was an in-house hire. It was a late hire. It was they got the ghost of Brian Johnson in the back of their heads, so they're going to compare.
Is silly.
I know it is.
But here's the deal. Here's where, because I know people enjoy it so much, I'm going to go into my defend Kevin Patullo mode right here.
I'm not defending him. I just
think get mad at you for this, John, but I love to
do it. The difference between this year's Eagles and last year's Eagles is the running game.
Right.
Well, now Jeff Stoutland's still here. He's the run game coordinator. For those who don't know. I don't think anybody in Philadelphia is going to criticize Jeff Stoutland.
Or fire him.
Nor should they, by the way.
I have some questions. Has he checked out? He's posting family pictures. That guy's ready for
retirement. He's always posted family pictures. But good. I'm glad you at least – I actually respect that if you want to take shots at Jeff Stoutland.
I'm not taking shots, though. I'm just saying I didn't notice.
But I actually respect – so – What is different from this year's run scheme from last year's? You want to blame it on Kevin Patullo. It's the same damn run scheme. Same damn run scheme. One of the greatest offensive line coaches / run game coordinators, certainly, of this era. One of the best assistant coaches of all time. So if you want to blame Kevin Patullo, go ahead. But my point is, to Jeff's point, you don't know what the F you're talking about.
That was always my argument.
Same running game as last year. The effectiveness is different. The effectiveness is different because the offensive line's banged up. Maybe the running back isn't what he once was, although I don't believe that. To me, I think he's got more juice than he had last year. So I put most of it on the offensive line. They're not executing the way they executed last year. They're not playing the way they played last year. And that's the biggest difference. The passing game has actually improved incrementally, but it has improved.
I think my favorite Patullo thing is, you do know him and Kellen Moore were basically neck and neck last year.
Oh, they were.
It's the same offense.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. People just want somebody to play.
It's like when people say to me, James Franklin's a terrible play caller. I'm like, well, how would you know that? He doesn't actually call the plays. Andy Kolenicki does.
They want, most people want everything tied up in a comfortable little bow. So this is the problem. Remove this. So you can remove it and let Nick call plays again. People aren't going to like that.
They're too busy thinking the halfback counter move in their Madden video game they're playing works every time. Because it does.
It might work in Madden. Yeah.
It does work in Madden.
And by the way, and I say it all the time too, play calls. You might have the best, and Doug Peterson, I tell this story all the time, and he was just on the channel, is the one who told me this. Sometimes you might have them. You as a play caller, you dial something up and you got the right look and you got them fooled and it's a big play waiting to happen and the left guard misses a block and nobody knows it. Nobody knows it. And there's sometimes, we just talked about the great players and all those great receivers. Sometimes they save your ass as a play caller because you got the wrong play on. And it might be a run, and you might be running into a heavy box that should be stopped for a 2-yard loss, and Saquon turns it into a 50-yard gain, or a receiver pulls something out of his ass, or Jaylen Hurts off schedule does something, and everybody's so happy. Is an off schedule anything? Do people think that's a good play call?
I don't think they know it's a play call or not a play call.
Exactly. Anything off schedule is not a play call. That's what off schedule means.
I think it's a hard sell naturally for what you guys are saying because people fall in love with players. And the problem is the Eagles are the 30th ranked offense. I don't really care who says what about how many games we've won. That is putrid. That is close to inept. When you're with the Bengals that without Joe Burrow and the Titans who look like dog water, that's bad. Objectively speaking. Other teams who have elite quarterbacks, whenever they have problems, they don't point to the quarterback. When the Rams don't look good, they don't say, oh, Matt Stafford's the problem. When the Bills don't look good, they don't say Josh Allen's the problem. When the Bengals don't look good, they don't say Joe Burrow's the problem. The way you guys are explaining it is, Jalen I don't think people can handle that.
I disagree with that, by the way. When quarterbacks play anywhere and they play a shitty game, they get shit.
Mac Jones is getting blamed for the 49ers losing yesterday. And
Matthew Stafford for years, people would I defended Matthew Stafford for years. He got shit on so much in Detroit, it wasn't even funny.
Losing player. That's all I ever heard.
Maybe it's a bad take, but that's why I think Eagles fans are struggling. Even right now, people are just hating on Jalen.
I think Eagles
we're the 30th ranked offense in football. Does nobody want answers for that?
I think Eagles fans are the most spoiled, fan base I've ever seen. You want to watch a bad offense? I'll tell you what. Go put it in 1996 Eagles tape. I'll show you a bad offense.
Oh God!
Yeah. You just put in New York Jets from London yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Oh gosh, the New York Jets. Yeah, that's bad. And I don't ever want to be mentioned in a sentence with an offense that's.
You did mention the Bengals without Burrow and the Titans. So you made your point.
Boy, there was some bad offensive football yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
And the Eagles have played bunny, but the Eagles have played bad offensive football for the majority of this year. But boy, I think the biggest problem, to your point, they're They're ahead of where they were last year when they won the Super Bowl in the passing game. Slightly ahead, but
They are
slightly
ahead.
ahead nonetheless. The difference is the running game picked up for it last year.
And
This year it's not doing it.
they're not doing it. It's not an
Yeah.
efficient running game. You're not seeing explosive plays. It looked better on Thursday, but not significantly better.
And if Eric Wilson is playing middle linebacker this week, you better get Saquon to 100.
Saquon Barkley averaging 3.2 yards per carry is a bigger concern to me than anything Jalen Hurts.
I think the offense needs to be a little bit more versatile to open things up for Saquon. We ran the ball all year last year. The offensive line's not as good. He's not going to be able to run unless there's a real threat that the defense has to handle in the passing game. There's no way.
I mean,
But what solution do you have for that to happen?
Has Saquon lost a step? Do you think?
No.
I don't think so.
So
well, I mean, what didn't they do that in North Jersey? Jalen threw for 283 yards, and there was more left on the field, as you pointed.
That's because I don't think defense is really. I think it's like Vic Fangio. Hey, get your yards between the 20s. We scored 17 points versus the Giants.
But I'm saying you saw it and envisioned. I mean, they were in a position to score again, and he made the bad throw. But that's what happens when you become a high volume thrower. There's more opportunities for mistakes. And if he throws that pass to that plot intercepted correctly to Jahan Dotson's outside shoulder instead of his inside shoulder, it's a completion, and they probably go on to score.
My issue with this offense is they have every game. They have like 4 possessions where they just don't do anything.
Yeah, well,
passing or running.
True. That's
the issue.
That's true.
How do you get that out of the system?
And by the way, AJ was wide open in the middle of the field. You didn't even have to throw it to Dotson. But I don't know what the progression was, so I'm not going to kill him for that. But because I don't know what the progression was, but if that throw is properly thrown, it's a completion. And he just threw it inside, and Plott made a good play. But that's what happens when you throw it. It's
a risk-averse offense. And when you have a risk-averse offense, the explosive plays aren't going to be there.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Jeff, we got to run. We appreciate you joining in today. A good conversation about a lot of things happening in the NFL world. That's why we love having you on, Jeff. That's why we have a show, because this league gives us stuff to talk about.
It's a week-to-week league, Zander.
Yeah, it is, no doubt. And Penn State. We're going to be talking about that.
Penn State. I might put in Jeff Kerr's name. They got to save some money. So if they give you like $2 million a year,
I take $2 million. I would leave CBS to coach.
We might have to launch a specialty show with Jeff Kerr to cover this era of Penn State, the change of Penn State football. Where will they go?
I've only missed 3 total games in the James Franklin, 3 total home games in the James Franklin era.
Matt Rule's coming home. I'm making a prediction.
I love Matt.
That many home games?
I go all the time.
Yeah, it's too far. Too far,
dude.
And it's like children of the corn out there. It's like a cult. I can't.
You know what? It's my way away from a computer for a day, and it's awesome.
That I understand completely. Jeff, we got to run. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, my prediction, Jeff. Matt Rule cosplay Patrick Mahomes comes with him.
I love Matt Rule. I know Matt Rule. I don't want him as Penn State's head coach.
He's a Cape May guy, Matt Rule. All right, brother. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
Later, dude. Yeah. John, I kind of like your prediction, actually. Rule and Raiola go there.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I call him cosplay Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, well, that's what he is. I mean, and he's brought that nickname on himself. We got a bunch of super chats we'll get to. We got about 18 minutes left to go on the show today. I want to welcome and thank everybody for being here this morning. Don't forget to hit that like button. 2 more games left to play in week 6 of the NFL, including a divisional rival plays tonight. The Commanders take on the Bears tonight in the second game, and then the Bills travel to Atlanta. I believe that game's in Atlanta. Bills Falcons tonight. So a doubleheader Monday Night Football to close out week number 6. John, let's see what the people are saying this morning. Miguel Lara, member for 40 months. Can everybody see that? 40 months. What is that? Just under 4 years for Miguel Lara supporting the channel. Thank you, brother. He says, Morning, fellas. We will have a new starting cornerback on Sunday. Who will it be? I think for sure Howie brings someone in. No way Jackson or Ringo start. Miguel, I think you're going to be sad come Sunday.
Well, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, look, I guess Jacksonville and Cleveland made the trade Campbell for Newsome, and they both played. But those, and they both got beat, by the way. It shouldn't. Yeah, I don't see that happening. It's going to be now. I could see, because I don't think Quignon's going to play. I just think hamstrings are really difficult to come back that quickly especially for corners, wide receivers, fast guy positions. So I don't think Mitchell's going to be able to play. We'll see on Wednesday. Maybe it's not that serious. You can always hold out hope. But if he doesn't play, yeah, I think it's going to be Keely and Adoree, but I think it'll be a short hook. I think Mac McWilliams will be up. Perry Nickerson will be up. But that's what you have right now. And yeah, I don't, that's a position where, Jacorian Bennett will be back at some point, but that's a position where they might have to go outside before November 4th, especially if Quignon's going to miss a number of weeks. But the Tariq Woolens of the world, I know he's a big. You don't want him. Trust me, you don't want him. It would have been nice to get Campbell or Newsome, at least give you some upside, but they got traded for each other.
Yeah, and you're going to have more of these talks here. Caleb checks in. He says, any trade talks, Snead or Tariq Woolen?
I didn't even see that, but now I don't want Tariq Woolen. I mean, it's just awful ball skills. Big, I think it's a position they might have to go outside. Again, a lot depends on how serious this is with Quinyon Mitchell. I think if Quignon's there, you can cobble your way through. And he'll be back, obviously. It's not going to be season ending, but you could use some help and some depth as well, because depth is obviously the issue.
Caleb, appreciate it. Vulnerable Vitality, my guy checking in. John, I am not a betting man. I do not bet. I don't even have an account on one of these apps. But my guy went to Missouri. He's one of our great supporters here. And Alabama played Missouri. He reached out to me and said, all right, we got to do a $50 bet off the record. So we did a bet, $50. Bama got the W in a close game versus Missouri this Saturday. He said, great game Saturday, Zander. It was a really good game. This is Kerr if he shows face today. But one of our old quarterbacks, James Franklin, has been getting ripped on Twitter. Anyway, Miz and Go Bears, let's get this ship right. Appreciate it, Vitality. We did have Kerr. He sent this before Jeff, I think, came on the show today. Appreciate you both.
Yeah, Jeff's not going to hide.
No,
He's a Penn State stick of pants. He's not going to hide.
You saw me. He's rocking the Penn State shirt today.
Yeah.
Tyler checks in. What's up, Tyler? Will Jalen get another contract without growth?
Oh, God, yeah. Here? He'll get another contract.
Here. He's talking about here.
Here? Like I always said, there's tiny little avenues, but probably still
have the Eagles stunted his growth as a quarterback?
No, I think he's grown dramatically over the years. I just think people want a different style of quarterback because that's what they've been conditioned for literally decades to expect a certain style of quarterback. And he's not that style of quarterback. And I think people have a very difficult time getting over that hump. He's a very good player. He's a very good quarterback, but he's a non-traditional quarterback. So, I mean, when you talk about another contract, I mean, obviously he's under contract for 2028, really. Now, when they'll probably redo it before then, not probably, definitely. He's got void years to 2035, by the way.
Oh,
But
2035.
yeah,
That
which
is crazy.
are just a bookkeeping thing. But he's
Yeah.
got dead money through 2032. Well, at least option money through 2032. Yeah, it's a crazy deal. So they'll rework it. And yes, 95%. Is there a slight opportunity? Yeah, I mean, because like I said, Jeffrey Lurie would prefer a different style of offense. I think that's still true. And if they can see an avenue to getting, but that's very small, very small.
What does I know you're gonna laugh at this, but I do have to ask it just because it's the name, and I want to. We address everything. We might as well address this. What does the organization, John, think of Tanner McKee?
I think they like him a lot, but no, they don't think he's in a position to take over for Jalen Hurts.
Like I'm talking about even like 3 years down the line. Do they see him as a player like that, maybe where they would keep him around as the backup and he could be an off ramp? I mean, look, Jalen was the off ramp for Carson,
Well, I think, but he really wasn't. Again, there's so much revisionist history. When Nick Sirianni got the job, if you remember his first press conference after the disastrous opening monologue by Jeffrey Lurie and all that Zoom stuff, a bunch of the questions were about getting, Carson back on track, and what are you going to do? And Nick Sirianni took the job thinking his job was to get Carson Wentz back to being Carson Wentz. And Carson forced himself out. He was just disgusted with the organization and how they handled it and how they handled him. And he just, like I said, if players want to I talked about that starting the show with AJ. If you really want to force your way out, you can force your way out. Carson Wentz forced his way out.
Right.
There's so much revisionist history.
Yeah, I mean, Doug was on our program, said they drafted Jalen to be the second.
Yeah.
To Carson.
Now, and even after the 2021 season, the Eagles were looking to upgrade a quarterback. I know people don't believe that, but I don't know what to tell you.
People should believe that. There's no disputing. I don't think anybody's ever disputed that.
Now, at that point, they thought Jalen played enough. As it was described to me, they were looking for the home run. And they thought certain guys were the home run. And if they could get one of those guys, they would get him. Deshaun Watson.
Which all of them at the time don't look like they would have worked out.
No.
Deshaun, Russell, that's who they were thinking about.
Yeah, Deshaun and Russell were the two guys they were thinking about. Obviously, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But by that point, they said, all right, he's pretty good, but let's see if we can hit the home run. And they felt those two guys were the home run. And when they couldn't get it done, they revert. And for whatever reason, both didn't want to play here. Now, Deshaun was very close to Jalen, and he didn't want to take his opportunity away. And Russell, just for whatever reason, didn't want to play here. I don't know why. At that point, he was still in the. He's kind of a weird dude. He's still in the Sierra, wanted to be in New York, wanted to be in a big market, to do this, that kind of stuff. I don't know. He just, and not that Philadelphia's not big, but you get my point. He ended up in Denver anyway.
Doesn't have the cachet that New York does, obviously.
Yeah. And neither wanted to play here, and it didn't work out. And they said, all right, let's build around Jalen Hurts. And it took off from there. But there's a lot of revisionist history that, for whatever reason, you talk about people not wanting to have conversations. They won't even admit that to themselves. But yeah, so Nick got here. The whole plan was to try to run it back with Carson Wentz, to try to salvage it with Carson Wentz. And Carson made it very clear he was not going to play here anymore. And they had to move on. And they made the best of the situation. And it worked out.
Yeah, to credit Jalen, he took advantage of it too. Brian Pumper checks in. What's up, Pump? First down, inside zone, 1 yard gain. Second down, flushed right, throws out of bounds or 2 yard pass to tight end. Third down, holds ball, takes a sack. Fourth down, punt.
Well, and the that has happened way too often. He's correct, but the key to that all is first down inside zone 1 yard gain. That's got to be first down inside zone 6 yard gain, and then you're fine. Changes the whole thing. But yeah, that's happened too often, and it all goes back to the ineffectiveness of the running game, because once second and short, everything's in the playbook. It really makes it difficult for the defense. Second and long makes it very easy for the defense.
Like you always say, John, welcome to the rest of the NFL, what their problems are. You can't run the ball perfect on first down. You got to be able to thrive in other ways. I'm sorry. Here's Caesar. What's up, Caesar? Listening from Chile. Thanks for the big super chat, my man. I appreciate you. And John still sounds like the smartest guy in the room. Look at that, J-Mac. How do you evaluate Hurts' pocket discipline this year compared to when he had Shane Steichen? So different.
I think he's better. But it has nothing to do with Shane or Kevin or anybody in between. It's got to do with experience. That's all. As you get more experience, you get more comfortable. You get better at stuff like that.
I feel like Shane rolled him out more too, though. I mean, obviously they did more RPOs.
Well, they were RPO heavy, and I think he excelled at that. And again, the NFL, because of that success, and another conspiracy theory for the people that want it, they started, people started complaining and said, "Look, here's the rule. You got to emphasize the rule. These guys are getting 2-3 yards down the field. How are we supposed to play defense?" And they tightened up, and I think it had more to do with that than anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't do it as much.
John, I was thinking about this game on Friday. This is back on Friday, and I'm just going to ask you this question when I was sitting and, my thoughts on the game. What do the 2025 Eagles do well, John?
Offensively?
Anything. Literally anything.
Well,
do they do anything well yet?
They've done a lot of good things on special.
No. They've done good things. What do they do well?
I think they're very until the Giants game. I think they were very effective defense as a whole. I think they were good at basically everything with the exception of outside pass rush, edge rush. I mean, I wasn't complaining about the defense at all.
Me neither. And I think that's a fair answer. Defense.
Offensively,
worried they're not going to hold up. That's my the last 2 weeks. They won the reason we were 4-0 is because the defense and the special teams.
Yeah.
They didn't hold up for the last 2 games. And I think rightfully it's unfair to expect the defense to win you all the games. The $250 million offense has to carry its weight, John.
Offensively, about the only thing they did consistently well was red zone, which is weird, to be honest. But because typically when you're a bad offense like the Jets, you're a bad offense, and they had been a bad offense, but when they got that 1 or 2 or 3 drives into the red zone, they would score every time. Part of it is the tush push. A lot of it is when they but you got to get to third or fourth and short to use the tush push. A lot of it is Jalen's +1 ability in condensed spaces, but they've been very, very good in the red zone until that throw, which was just simply a bad ball, and that's from Jaylen Hurts' mouth to Jahan Dotson. I mean, if that's a good ball, it's a completion. And you're moving forward, you probably score again. So I would say on offense, the red zone has been the one thing they've done pretty well this season.
Good stuff. Caesar checks in. Gotta love how Jeff just sneaks in an elite analysis mid-convo. Appreciate how you call it straight, but still keeps it fair, real journalism. Thanks, Caesar. I'm sure Jeff would appreciate that. I'll send him a note after the show. JD3 says, when are we as fans going to look at 22 as the outlier year? When we don't run for 200, this offense has been limited every year outside of 22. Well, they still ran for, 1,300 yards in 22?
Yeah, they still had a very good. Miles had a really big year.
And I think Jalen ran for a lot of yards that year too.
Yeah. They had a great. I mean, that was they've had a great running game since the 2-5 start in 2021 when they scaled back. They've had a great running game since that point, and it's evaporated this year, which is weird. It's weird. And I can't really explain it other than the best theory I've heard is, their physical style. People all were so focused on what the touches were going to do to Saquon. What did all that running and physical style do to Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson specifically? Maybe it impacted them.
Let's see what happens. B Pump says, anyone see Jalen working that register at the Jordan event? Future much? Yeah, he's focused on football, though. I know Tanner working his. He says again, reported that AJ was heard loudly. How we effing lose to the Giants. Fellas, this QB got this team in hell. If only we have someone who can step in. Pumper, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be too happy with Tanner McKee stepping in. But
he has the weapon. I mean, he's more of a rhythm and timing thrower, no?
He is. I
don't think look, I'm not in the camp of put Tanner in, but I will say Tanner would be okay. I mean, we got a lot of weapons.
Well, I think you would have those games where you go, oh, look at this. Look, 320 yards. I think you'd have those games, and I think you'd have some games that you'd be like, oh, there's 3-4 interceptions, that type of thing.
Maybe. Pump, appreciate it. Tyler says, hey, John, I was reading Dougie P said he would come consult on the offense if he gets the call. What have you heard on this? How much rope for Kevin Petula? That's not a real conversation.
No.
Doug just got asked if he would come back. Silly. I was on this network, Tyler. So, and he said he would come back or he would consider it. But he hasn't actually been reached out to him yet. He said that. He said, I haven't been reached out to at all.
Yeah.
So, JD3 says, it's good, John. Did you want to get
that? Ain't happening.
He said
Super Bowl winning coach, but that ain't happening.
And Doug also said that. He said that would be a weird setup with the two coaches. JD3 said it's been the same offense with a different twist since Nick took over. 22 is the peak. How many coordinators do we blame for this passing game? Yeah.
All of them.
John's getting funny. Dirty Air says, just noticed an interesting stat. When we are the only team with a winning record who has less points scored than points against us.
Yep. And they've also been outgained in all 6 games, which is not positive.
That's because our offense stinks. I don't know why nobody wants to talk about it. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's like Eagles fans aren't Eagles fans anymore. They're Jalen Hurts fans. I love Jalen Hurts. He's done a lot for the team. The offense, objectively, is awful. Let's talk about it. Here's Dirty Air. This weekend was my first Penn State game. Me and a bunch of my family went. Cool atmosphere. Too bad they blew it.
That was a bad loss, man.
They blew it more.
Northwestern.
And last week, UCLA. Holy crap.
I mean, the only reason I even question is because of the buyout. I mean, they got to pay this guy $50 million. I'm like, really? You're gonna waste that money? And then bring somebody else in who's probably got his own massive contract and not going to be able to recruit as well. Probably be a little bit of a better coach. But, I mean, hopefully they have a plan for Penn State people. But, for the Penn State people who think they should be Ohio State or they should be Alabama or they should be Georgia, maybe there's got to be a little bit of a correction there. There's going to be some up years. There's going to be some down years.
Yep, I think that's very fair, J-Mac. Good stuff there, Devin. Appreciate it. One more super chat, then we let John get out of here. Josh Herman. John, I heard what you said on Friday. Why do you think we can correct the ship? We can't run. We can't pass. The defense is average, and the O-line is not what it was. Where do you see them fixing it?
Well, I think the defense wasn't average before the Giants game. Now, they played very poorly, but again, you're not going to have 17 consistent games. So I have to see them play poorly again before I start questioning the defense. And, if they don't have Quinyon, maybe it becomes a bit more of a problem because they definitely don't have the depth they once did. Offensive line, look, I'm concerned. Maybe they are banged up and maybe it's just they're not going to get back. And if they're not, then you're probably going to have some trouble. Are they going to be what they were last year? Probably not, which I didn't, I had them at 11 wins coming into the season. I never thought they were going to be what they were last year after all the attrition. But again, we talked about it during the show. I'm not awed by anybody. Zander picked Tampa Bay. I'm not awed. I picked Detroit. I'm not awed. They just lost last night. They couldn't handle their injuries. Jeff didn't pick anybody because he couldn't pick anybody. There's no team where you say the Eagles can't beat this team. Is there? The AFC is worse than the NFC. Is there anybody out there that you say the Eagles can't beat this team? Because that team doesn't exist to me. And if that doesn't mean they're not going to get, because there are a bunch of teams. I do think Detroit could beat them. I do think Green Bay could beat them. I think Washington could beat them. I think Tampa Bay could beat them, even though they lost, if there's a rematch. So if they play poorly on a given day, they could also be beaten. So they're not this unstoppable juggernaut that they were last season, but there's also no unstoppable juggernaut. So if they start playing their best football late in the season, there's no reason to say they can't make a run, but it'll look different. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as last year.
We'll see. John, what's the agenda for today for the Birds? And then your final thought.
Well, it's a typical Sunday game week, so you won't be on the practice field till Wednesday. So it's back to typical schedule. Nick's going to talk today, this afternoon via Zoom. Coordinators tomorrow. Practice picks up on Wednesday. And then you try to right the ship, and we'll see. To me, this game is all about that first injury report. Both sides. And we'll see. We'll have a better indication of where both teams look on Wednesday.
Yep, no doubt about it. Johnny Mac, good show today, brother. We will catch you tomorrow on a Tuesday edition of Birds 365. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks, Jay Mac. There's Johnny Mac, John McMullen joining us right here on Birds 365 here on a Monday edition, kicking off the full week to go. Appreciate everybody being here. We got a lot to talk about. All right, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to do it right here on Birds 365 on Zander time. Plenty of stuff to talk about here this morning. And I got a bone to pick with a lot of Eagle fans. Like what happened to like Eagle fans? It's like you can't talk about anything. I'm loyal to the Eagles. All right, we have a shitty offense, objectively speaking. Is it Jalen? Is it the run game? Is it the offensive line? Sure, we can talk about any of them. All right, we'll talk about them all here. But we got a shitty offense. I don't know why we're so in the mode of like, we can't talk about it. You're a Jalen hater. What? The fuck are you talking about? Our offense blows. Our offense absolutely blows. Nobody wants to talk about it. Trenton says, Jalen is the best quarterback we've had. He loses 2 games in a row and the sky's falling. Some of these fans are spoiled pussies. Hurts will figure it out. Trenton, go root for mediocrity somewhere else. We're 30th ranked offense in football. We're the 31st ranked offense in football last year. The only reason we won last year is because our defense was historic and Saquon Barkley was historic. If you don't have those two things, Trenton, our offense is proving they're continuing to be putrid. We started 4-0 in September. Everybody told me we're 20-21. How? And I kept telling you, 17 of those games are from last season. 17 of those games were from last season. This isn't last season. Here's Trent. Keep bitching, Z. All right, brother. I will keep bitching. You keep watching. Try more, dumbass. Good. Send me another super chat, simp. Go sit in the fucking corner, simp. You come here to talk Eagles. Dork. Tyler says, John, sorry for the rude comments in the chat. That's all right. John can handle it. He's a big boy. Unlike Trenton, he's a big boy. Okay? He's a big boy. Trent said, how? Oh, my God. You can't talk about my quarterback like that. Dude, he's responsible for the 30th ranked offense in football. If Josh Allen's offense was ranked 30th, if Joe Burrow's offense was ranked 30th, if Lamar Jackson's offense was ranked 30th, if Baker Mayfield's offense was ranked 30th, if Justin Fields' offense was ranked 30th, which, by the way, it's ranked better than that, would you criticize him? Would you come in here and say, Jalen Hurts is so much better? Look at their offense. Is that what you'd say, Trenton? I'm sure it is what you would say. I'm sure it is what you would say. But you pick and choose whatever narratives fit what your thought process is, and that's it. I think you're the pussy. That's what I think. I think you're incapable of having an objective conversation. Here's Philly Dogs. Now you're tripping, Zander. We only won because of the run game and the defense. Like Jalen didn't win us the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl. None of those guys won a Super Bowl last year. Well, no, Roll Philly, you're right. I mean, he won the Super Bowl. But Roll Philly, let's not act like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, the modern day GOATs of this generation, who have had the best offense to the tune of 3 Super Bowls, they couldn't get past midfield for half the game. Now, Jalen had a great Super Bowl. And I always say Jalen's best attribute is he's the best in the biggest of moments. Those are things that can't be taught. When the pressure's in the tube is at its highest point, Jalen plays his best. But don't act like the defense was historic in that game, dude. They didn't get past midfield for 10 drives. 10 drives. Jalen was phenomenal. But my point is, if you don't have the defense playing that good, does he bring you enough offensively to get the most out of the talent on offense to make up for the other side and win you games? When the defense isn't dominating, we're struggling. We just got beat by the Giants, man. Like, I'm not going to go back and live in the Super Bowl. We won. It was a beautiful thing. I'm looking at 2025 now. And Jalen does deserve credit. I agree with that. But he had help. Let's not say he didn't have help. All right? Let's not say he didn't have help. Let's see what everyone else is saying. Let's see what all the other people are saying in here. I want somebody who disagrees with me. I don't want to be agreed with right now. I'll go to Roll Philly, followed up. And that matters to me more than what Allen, Burrow, or Lamar's stats are because they choke. Jalen doesn't. The trade-off is worth it to me. He brought enough in 22. We allowed 38 points. Well, that's a fair point. You know, my only problem with the 22 conversation, Roll Philly, is that the NFL changes a lot. You can't play that much. You can't play that way anymore. Obviously, we don't play that way anymore. So that was just a different, like, just to assume we're going to go back and be the 22 team, I don't think is fair. Always Open says, Z's turning into a hater at the first sight of problems. Lame. I'm not turning into a hater. Always Open. Do you live in Philadelphia? Have you ever been to Philadelphia? Have you ever walked around the streets of Philadelphia? Have you ever worn an Eagles hat or an Eagles shirt or an Eagles sweatshirt through the Philadelphia airport or down Broad Street? By the way, I have a hilarious Broad Street story. Who drives Broad Street on the daily? I got to warn you on something. All right, I got to warn you on something. All right, so we'll talk about that in a second. We'll have a little bit of fun here on Zander Time today as well. All right. Have you ever talked to somebody in Philadelphia, though, Always Open? I don't know who you talk to or who you converse with, but anybody I converse with says, why the fuck does our offense look like a steaming pile of dog shit? That's what they say. I don't think that means they hate the Eagles. I don't think that means they're a bad Eagle fan. I think that means they're an honest Eagle fan. I think it means they're a real Eagle fan. Holy shit. Holy shit. Money Mitch, what's up, brother? Xander, you can't blame Jalen for the 25th ranked. Where are they ranked 25th? Money Mitch. Money Mitch, send me that stat right now because I don't think that's a real stat. 25th ranked offensive line in what world? Who ranked them the 25th ranked offensive line? Now, the defensive part is correct. They do give up 5 yards to carry, and they do have 2 stiffs at corner. Let's see what Daz just shared with me. Yeah, I saw that, Daz, what you just sent me. Where's Money Mitch? Where are we 25th? I don't think it's the 25th ranked offensive line. Guys, I know it's not great, but I think we're a little spoiled when it comes to the offensive line. Speaking of that dude, Trenton, who was called spoiled pussies. All right, Trenton. You're now the arbiter of how to be an Eagle fan. Hey, guys, you're a new Eagle fan. Go talk to Trenton Wright. This is how you be an Eagle fan. And if you don't do it that way, you're a spoiled pussy. Okay, Trenton. Okay, little Trenton. Okay, big guy. I'll make sure I call you before I ever have an Eagles opinion. You teach me how to be an Eagle fan. I'll make sure I get the approval from you first. Where's Money Mitch? Did he follow up? Oh, you heard it on the Mott show? Okay, I don't know if it's a real stat. I don't think it's a real stat. I really don't. I don't think it's a real stat. I don't think they're. I know they're not. They're not the number one offensive line because we've gotten used to them dominating. They're not the 25th ranked offensive line, dude. Look around the league. Often there are some offensive lines around the league that are diabolically bad. Where are you guys seeing this? 27th. Send me it on Twitter. Send me it to my email. Where are you guys seeing that we're the 27th ranked offensive line? Bro, you want to look up for all the people who, we talk about this on Friday. The film people. There's film people out there. Who are these film guys? If I'm watching film, I'm watching it from a guy who knows how to play football. Go watch Brian Baldinger break down the film in the pass protection. Everybody says, oh, the reason Jalen stinks right now is our offensive line. Go watch Brian Baldinger. He broke down 5, 6, 7, 8 clips from the Thursday night game. He put them on his Twitter account on Friday morning. All right? Go watch them. Go watch the clips from Brian Baldinger. He says it over and over again. There's 4, 5 seconds for Jalen to throw in the pocket. Now, I don't know what world you're living in that you believe quarterbacks. Let me look at it. Roll Philly sent it to me on Twitter. I didn't get it, bro. Oh, I got it. Yeah, all right. This is a little more fair then. Where is this? Oh, it's Pro Football Network. It's not Pro Football Focus. It's Pro Football Network. Now, not to say Pro Football Focus is incredible, but Pro Football Network is kind of the Temu Pro Football Focus. You understand this, right? So if you don't like Pro Football Focus, Pro Football Network is like the Temu version. But, yeah, they are ranked 27th here. Tied for 27th. Team O-line grade. So it is a verified stat. Whether you believe the stat is up to you. All stats are subjective to some extent. The most beautiful thing about stats is you can make them support your point. Oh, why am I blurred? Or you can make them go against your point. Stats can be selectively used. I don't think they're the 27th worst offensive line in football. I do not. All right. Traeger says, Z, it's the coaching and the elementary offense we run. It's not all Hurts. It's definitely not all Hurts. Not all Hurts. No, it's not. Z, in run blocking, I could believe they're that low. Me too. They're getting moved back. They're getting moved backwards. I could believe that. Underdog says, Xander, you can't block for a guy when he's making up off-schedule shit because he's not comfortable in a pocket. Makes it a lot tougher. Underdog, that's what Baldy broke down. Baldy's breaking down this play, and he's like, everybody's saying protection's the problem. Jalen's got 5 seconds here. That's an eternity in an NFL offense. I don't know why I messed up my damn camera now. There we go. Point being, Offensive line's not great, but you can't just boil this down to it's all the offensive line. Just like I don't think it's fair to boil it down to it's all Jalen Hurts. It's a little bit of everything. Some things matter more than other things. All right. Caesar, keep it coming. Zay, get these efforts some real talks. Not everybody's ready for it. All right. Always open. Did you ever answer my question on if you've walked through Philadelphia? I don't think you have. I really don't. I tell you guys, the post office guy, he loves me. I'm up there every week because I do giveaways. So I'm always at the post office. It's the same guy working the counter every week. I wear my JAKIB hat in. He says, "Oh, I see you on YouTube all the time." That dude's been a Philly fan his whole life. Every time I walk in there, he's got a new gripe with the team, you know? And believe me, he was saying the same shit. Jalen Hurts, I love him after the Super Bowl. This year I walk in there, he goes, "What the fuck's wrong with our passing game, Zay?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll talk about it on the show." He says, "I'll be listening." You know? That's a Philly guy. I don't know. You tell me. By the way, who wants to hear my Broad Street story? I wish I had the damn paper. I think my nephew threw it out. They were in my office. They ruined my whiteboard. They got sticky notes all over the place. They're drawing all over it. My niece and my nephew, they were in my office all weekend. They love my office. But so I get this thing in the mail this week. All right. This is hilarious. First off, let me ask this. Who drives Broad Street on a consistent basis or has driven Broad Street enough to understand the road? Who drives Broad Street consistently enough to understand the road? I drive it a few times a week. I'm 2 miles off Broad Street. 2 miles away from Broad Street. Wait, Ian, let me give the story. Dirty Air understands Broad Street. Flexen says, "I don't fuck with Broad no more." Yeah, I don't blame you, Flex. It's not a fun place to drive. It's the worst place to drive. Flex, I've mastered it though. I used to drive every day there for high school. So back in the day, I just boop, third lane, boop, cut over to the red lights. You gotta know what you're doing when it comes to Broad Street. All right, so anyway. So I'm driving on Broad. Yeah, Flexen, this is what I'm getting to. So I get a note in the mail this week from the Philadelphia Police Department. There used to be a couple cameras that had red light cameras, right? So if you burnt the red light, all right, they would send you something, which I can understand. You burn a red light, it's a little easier to get by. Now they've installed it up the whole fucking road. They got speed cameras. So I got a thing in the mail. It's a warning because apparently we have 6 months before they kick in the tickets. So I'm in the grace period. So I get a warning note in the mail. You are going 43 in a 25 on Broad Street. Now, anybody who knows Broad Street knows when you see a green light ahead, okay, you hit the gas a little bit so that you can make the damn green light. Because if you get stuck on the reds, you're going to be on every single red light. But if you make the green, you can get all the way down Broad. So 43 and a 25. I'm like, shit, that ain't even fast. That ain't even fast. So be careful driving on Broad Street. I got a warning for going 43 and a 25 on Broad. I do not drive my vet like a douche. That's what I'm saying. 43 on Broad Street is not fast, dude. I promise you. I promise you. 43 on Broad opened up is not quick. Not when you have a green light ahead. And the funniest part is the picture they took of the vet. You can see the green light ahead. You can see the green light. I'm like, yeah, I was trying to go and get the green, man. I was trying to go and get the green. All right. So you gotta be careful. All right. You gotta be careful on vet. Gotta be careful on the vet. All right. Be careful on Broad. Again, most people who don't know Broad, it's not a heavy foot. I promise you, it's not a heavy foot. When you get a rare opportunity to hit the green lights on Broad, bro, you hit the gas. I don't care if you're in a vet or you're in a Camry or a Prius. All right? It don't matter. No. They literally documented the speed on the paper. It says speed. What's the thing called? The speed gun. I'm like, now you guys got. Philadelphia is going to make so much money on those. They're just sending out tickets, automatic tickets. Anybody that's going over 25. I'm like, oh gosh. That's what I mean, Flex. These people, that's why I asked for who actually drives Broad Street. Because most people wonder, it's not an average 25. It's not a suburban neighborhood 25. It's Broad Street 25, man. It's Broad Street 25. It's a different 25. Driving Broad Street is kind of a way of life. Give the ticket to the mayor. That's funny. Yeah, I don't like Broad, but it is what it is. Yeah, see, that's fire. Are you in Texas, Roll Philly? That's no robot can give me a ticket. Yeah, that's nice. I'm getting robot tickets up here, brother. Robot tickets from Broad Street. I got to move away from Broad Street. I do love it though. I still do love driving through the city of Philadelphia. Even for all the shit it brings, I still do love it. But incoming all the people in Texas and California and Florida and you name it, Arizona. Zander, this is how you be an Eagle fan. Man, kiss it where the sun don't shine. All right. Here's Four Reels. What's up, brother? Four Reels says, Big Z, I like Hurts, but I'm trying to understand. We always make the excuse about a new OC. Every season we have the same simple, predictable offense. So is Hurts more limited than we think? I think the answer there is probably yes. The problem is, why are we playing in a way that doesn't accentuate his talents? Because he does have talents. He's got different talents. I mean, why aren't we accentuating? Is it simply because we're not blocking as well? Is it simply because we can't run? I mean, John and Jeff say you got to run the ball for this thing to work. And my whole thing is it like the chicken or the egg conversation? Are we not running because we can't pass as well? And people are like, oh, we passed for 280. I don't know. Does that pass game strike fear in anybody's heart? I don't think it strikes fear in any defensive coordinator's hearts, that's for sure. Curtis says, Z, the run game is about 100% of the reason we don't look the same. On the other hand, Jalen is mostly to blame for why we can't win a different way. Also, Patullo adds nothing like a Shanahan does. I agree with that. I agree with that top to bottom, basically. But why is the running game not looking the same? If the run game's 100% of the reason we don't look the same, which is obvious, why does the run game not work? Accepting suggestions for the Eagles game at the link against the Giants. Uh-oh. Let's hope we don't. Caesar, start working on your boos. Okay, so there's different like flux points. There's you want to get the variance in your voice correct. All right, so start working. Get in the mirror. You brush your teeth in the morning. You're looking in the mirror. Start going boo and like give yourself some different variations. Is it boo, boo, boo? You got to work on the different variations of the boo, okay? That's what you need for going to a game at the link because inevitably you will be booing at some point, all right? Probably will happen in the first half. Here's K. Smith. Z, why wouldn't Nick look back on the 22 tape with Steichen and see how Jalen flourished in that system? Because the NFL changes. You can't just take the 22 offense and say, run it in 24. You can't do it. The NFL is caught up to that. Here's JD3. JD3 says, $250 million for the 31st offense 2 years in a row, and people will tell you it's the offensive coordinator. If you think Kellen can't design a passing game, I don't know what to tell you. Well, it's not the offensive coordinator. It's the style of the quarterback, which is why we play the way we do. When the things that fit that style work, Jalen is the perfect quarterback. When you don't have the things that fit that style, great running game, great defense, you're going to struggle. That's what it appears to be. Which, to be fair, is probably every quarterback in some way. But if you say it about Jalen, apparently everybody gets their panties in a bind. Now I'm like, people are like, oh, Zander's not an Eagle fan. Oh, okay. Okay. By the way, I got some new hats to give away. These were given to me by somebody did this big Eagle thing, these big Eagle events, and they were handing out these hats. And the one guy knew that I had this company, so he gave them to me. Eagles. I only have 2 of them. There's only 2. But I'll give them both away. And then I got this one. This one's kind of cool. This one's kind of, I was thinking of sending this to Philly 500. What do you guys think? This is a very Philly 500 hat to me. Got the flat brim. So I got 2 of them. We'll give those away soon. I got plenty of shit to give away. All right. Brandon, did you get your shit yet? I think your hat shipped as a second package, Brandon. Let me go look at what my boy Roll Philly sending me. I don't know why it's not showing up. You got your shirt. The hat's coming, Brandon. He does. He probably does have it. He's got like every hat. Xander, you're going to get some shit, but not the kind of shit you would get last year for criticizing Jalen. I don't really care if I get shit. I'm not here to placate people. I'm here to talk about the Eagles. If you don't like the way I talk about them, then go watch another channel. There's literally thousands. I don't give a fuck. People who like this kind of conversation are going to stay here. People who don't are going to cry and lash out like Trenton Wright and go to a new spot. Good. He can take his talents elsewhere. I don't give a shit. Giveaway today, Z. I want a coop purse. I might, Kimberly. And we normally do them Tuesdays. I know we had the Thursday game, so maybe it moves it to Monday, but I normally go Tuesday. Got to lint roll that hat, Z. Which one? This one? Jeez, do I? Yeah, you're right. I do. Yeah, look at it. That's like dog hair. Well, this is that bamboo material. So it kind of catches everything, especially hair. This is what it is. I got my 3rd goddaughter yesterday, everybody. It was an absolutely beautiful day, man. I'm so blessed. You guys, I love all of you guys, man. I am a blessed man. I really am. I was with my entire family yesterday. Every one of my siblings, all of my nieces and nephews, my mom, my dad, everybody. It was just a beautiful day. It really was. It was a beautiful day, beautiful thing. My 3rd godson or godchild. I have 2 goddaughters and 1 godson. 2 goddaughters and 1 godson. So it was a beautiful thing. It really was. All right. Anthony says, Xander, you're thinning up top. Brother, I'm more than thinning up top, my friend. My hair is like gone. All right. My hair is like just about gone. So I'm about to, I'm getting ready to shave that shit off. Once I'm a married man, it's cooked. I'm done. Later. All right. Later, hair. Kind of excited to do it. I might do a shave, like a low buzz cut, see what it looks like. You should send 100%. You should 100%. I agree. I want to send him a big ass care package. I owe Philly 500. I owe Philly 500 for sure. Oh, nice. You got your hoodie right as I was heading out the door this weekend. Love the Stitch Jacob logo. Dirty air. Pumped you got it. Everybody should have gotten it. All the Jacob merch I sent out last week. Let me go look at it. What's that shit? Let me go look at it. It's free, Z. I'm sure it is. I was talking to my cousin yesterday. I was with one of my cousin. I love one of my cousins. He's been one of my best friends my whole life. But I obviously wasn't wearing a hat yesterday because I was the godfather. So, I'm dressed up. I was wearing a suit and everything at church. It was a beautiful event. I had to do my hair the best I could. My cousin, I haven't seen him in a little bit. He's like, holy shit, Z. I'm like, I know. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know what happened. He's like, it happened that quick. I'm like, I know. Thanks, Anthony. That's pretty funny. Let me go check in on my merch. All right. Marcus was, I forget what Marcus is. Marcus was Penn, I believe. Penn, if you're in the chat, yours is shipped. Gary, you said you got yours. Abe, did you get yours? Where's Abe? Is Abe in here? Abe, did you get your merch? Did Abe get his merch? I sent Abe a nice care pack. Your cousin is funny. Yeah, he is. He's very funny. It says delivery. What the heck? Abe, yours is taking forever. It's in North Carolina, Abe. I guess you didn't get yours yet? Damn, Abe, that's annoying. Everybody else got theirs, and I ordered yours first. All right, Abe, you're going to be thrilled. I can't wait for you to get it. It's a good-ass care package. That's the best care package I've sent yet. It does say, Abe, did you get like an email that it shipped to you? I guess not because I ordered it for you. Yeah, I do have the Mel and Jacob hat. I got a couple of them, actually. So my nephew, you got who was on the Cilia show with me on Friday? You guys met my nephew. He was in my office. He jumped up on my lap for the show. All right. My nephew, he always steals a hat. So whenever he comes, he steals a hat. One hat. I tell him, you can have one hat. You can't take more than one, though. Okay? You can't take more than one. So he took my Corvette hat. You guys know my Corvette hat? I love my Corvette hat. I bought that thing at the NASCAR race. He took my Corvette hat. I'm like, all right, you can take the Corvette hat. All right? You can take my Corvette hat. Yeah, he jumped on my segment with Cilia, my second segment. It was good. Got my shirts. Good stuff, Bombay. Happy you got your shirts. All right, Xander, I selfishly want to hear your opinion on my Tigers. Honestly, vulnerable, good team. Good team. They look way better than any Missouri team I remember watching. All right. The quarterback plays hard. They fight. They're physical. They're great on defense. I think they're a good team, dude. Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, vulnerable, I'm not even going to lie to you. I know they were like ranked 16 or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like when you sent me the $50 bet, I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I think Bama's going to win the game. I do. I thought they were going to win the game. They're a good fucking team, dude. They play hard. Like, they're a legitimate team for sure. They're going to give good teams a run for their money, Missouri. A good team. Good team, and I love the way they play. They play fast and physical. The only thing I didn't like about that, I messaged you about this, the final play of the game, the receivers jumping up and down. I'm like, yo, dude, that's a bad look on your quarterback. Your quarterback just made a bad play, and you're kicking him while he's down. You're kicking him while he's down. But other than that, honestly, I was pleasant. I don't watch every Missouri game. You know, I watch college football, so I've kept up to date with them. I know what they're capable of. But I watched the full game start to finish on Saturday with my nephew. We were playing on the couch, so I didn't catch every play, but I watched as much as possible. Yeah, he's still got some developing to do, Money Mitch, Ty Simpson, but he's got a great arm, dude. That ball, like he whistles that ball. Just a tight spiral. He can really, really throw that thing. Yeah, the hit was crazy. That's kind of my take. Not elite, but the way they play will keep them. Absolutely, it will. Vitality, that's a perfect take on the team. It's a perfect take on the team. And the way they play will keep them competitive. All right. K. Smith says, Z, what was up with Detroit last night? I think they are missing players. They are missing players. Yeah, they are. I think they were missing. John mentioned they were missing. I don't know who. I mean, they're still too streaky for me. Everybody's missing players. If I'm not going to use that excuse for the Eagles, I'm not using it for the Lions. All right. Philly Tide says the tide is rising. Everybody counted us out after that week 1 loss. I'm not going to lie. After the week 1 loss, Philly Tide, I was questioning DeBoer because I'm like, last year wasn't pretty, but it was year one. I was ready to go into year two and see what he could do. And you start year two by losing an unranked FSU. I'm like, is this dude not right for the SEC? And I still have those questions, but you can see what he's trying to do. And you can also see Philly Tide. The other, I don't know if you're a Tide fan. I'm assuming you are because of your name. The one thing I think that's become very obvious to me, with Kalen DeBoer is Jalen Milroe was the exact opposite type of quarterback that they needed for him. He is a spread offense, Pac-12, throw the ball around the yard type of offensive mind. Having Jalen Milroe last year was a total disservice to him. And you can't move on from Milroe last year for him. You're not going to come into Alabama, a well-established program, off of Nick Saban, and get rid of the quarterback who played with Nick Saban. You're not going to do that. So Ty Simpson is a much better fit for DeBoer than Jalen Milroe was. Much better. Much better. Xander, you may need to start wearing the green Kango. It's the black hoodie. I don't know what you're talking about, Abe. What's the black hoodie? Abe, I don't know what you're talking about there. Yeah, Philly Tide. Let me just real quick follow up on this. Jalen couldn't spread the ball. Exactly, Philly Tide. It just wasn't the right fit. It wasn't the right fit. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I don't know what Brian Branch was doing there. Oh, you're saying the black hoodie. Yeah, he wins. He's like, yeah, well, he's got 2 losses in the hoodie. I saw that. That's a stupid thing. Fuck that. That's not what wins football games. I'm not superstitious. What the coach wears on a given Sunday doesn't matter to me. Xander, I'll give a slightly positive take. Jalen hasn't really been given the opportunity to grow. Dude, yeah. All right. Him trying to carry the team may force some growth. Okay, Curtis. I don't agree. I get it. He hasn't been given the room to grow, but he's in year 6, dude. Like, what do you mean? What do we mean, Curtis? He's in year 6. Zay, do you need my address for the merch? What merch? Do I owe you merch? Are you playing me? You didn't win shit, K. Smith. The fuck are you talking about? Look at this guy, Rada. He's a gray in the chat, and he's like, Zay, hey, what, you need my address? What do you think, I just send merch to anybody that listens? We got winners who are members on the channel. If your name gets pulled, you win merch. What are you playing me? Really appreciate the gesture, man. You're welcome. Worst behavior says, I think the run game, you're kidding, I got you. I think the run game issues are arrogance around the previous success with running. The blueprint is out on how to stop it, and they haven't adjusted. What's his name? Emmanuel Acho did some good breakdown of that. Emmanuel Acho did a good breakdown of that. Sean Dauberman says, how did the Patullo look in the first preseason game against the Bengals? I think that's Amber Baker, Shady Westbrook. You've switched your name a bunch. First off, thanks for becoming a legend member again, brother. I appreciate your support of the channel. I know you're one here who loves to challenge always the narrative. I like the way you think about the game. So we love having you here, brother. We appreciate your support of the channel. Patullo looked good in that game. Xander, what I mean is they run a simple offense because of Hurts' limitations, but that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy at some point. You have to be stretched to grow. I agree, but at what point does, I don't know, Kurt, at what point do you, like a first-year quarterback, yeah, you're trying to grow. A second-year quarterback, yeah, you're trying to grow. A 6th-year quarterback, aren't you more like, hey, they are what they are? Like, are you trying to grow Lamar? Are you trying to grow Burrow? Are you trying to grow Tua? Are you trying to grow Justin Herbert? Are you trying to grow Jalen Hurts? Or are you just building the offense that's right for that player? Like year 6 is not year 2. You don't look at year 6 the way you look at year 2. You know, that's the only problem with that take. I don't disagree with the premise of you obviously aren't gonna grow as much when you're not pushed outside the comfort zone. I agree with that. I think that's true for anything in life. You know? And Mr. Jeezy, you're 100% right. Continuity does matter. He says, I'm searching for optimism. All my takes have been crazy negative, but also, Z, look at Darnold, Daniel, and Mac Jones. Yeah, but their play styles didn't change. Their organizations changed, dude. Texas T, Texas T, this is why I love you. You always bring in these comments that bring us like back to the root. And I think this is the toughest thing to answer. Like if we had the answer, shit, maybe I'd be in a front office. She says, honestly, what's the solution? Everybody's complaining and rightfully so, but what is the answer? Post it to the chat. What's the answer for this team? Is it offensive line needs to get better? I mean, I came on Cilio's show, and I had big takes. I had big problems that I thought were big problems from the game, and I had small problems from the game. Small problems are things that are weekly, right? They can be fixed. They're not something that you sell the season on. Big problems are things that must be addressed or your team will go nowhere. My number one big problem is the offensive line. So anybody that says I'm being irrational about Jalen, I don't think has listened to me, which is fine. Maybe you haven't listened to all my content, but don't try and tell me what I am if you haven't listened to me. Trenton Wright, who's still sitting in that corner right there. Shoo, dog, shut the fuck up, dog. The crate's still locked. You're not going anywhere. Anybody who's listened to my take, the offensive line is number one. Because Jalen's style of play thrives when you do have a great offensive line. All right? But I don't exactly know what the solution is. I mean, you're going to have these people who say, give McKee a shot, move Jalen out of town. Z, build your offense around the quarterback. Yeah, Big Mike, it's not that easy to do, dude. Big Mike, it's a lot easier to build an offense around a quarterback that doesn't need those other things. Big Mike, how many times have you heard John say other teams don't want to build a team like the Eagles have? That's a multifaceted comment. It's a multifaceted comment. One, because it's hard. Two, because you need everything perfect. Most other teams would rather have the quarterback that can make up for a shoddy O-line. Joe Burrow led one of the worst offensive lines you'll ever see in your life to the Super Bowl. You know, they give you a bigger margin for error. They do. The O-line is the root of the bullshit. Right, Emrace, it's exactly my fucking point. But you're too stupid to see it. Emrace, do this for me. Slap yourself in the head, Emrace. Wake up from your nap. What you're saying is exactly what I'm saying. If the O-line's not perfect, Jalen Hurts doesn't thrive. If the O-line's not perfect in Cincinnati, they go to the Super Bowl. Certain quarterbacks can make up for different things differently. Jalen's style of play does not make up for your offensive line taking even one step back. He's not a rhythm thrower. He's not a rhythm passer. You need a rhythm passer when your offensive line doesn't dominate. That's the only way. Think about it. Two-step drop, ball comes out. Please, everybody go watch Brian Baldinger's takeaways. If you're going to watch film, don't watch some nerd in London or these dudes who are like all over the world who've probably never even stepped foot inside the city of Philadelphia or any NFL stadium for that matter, and they break down film like they're the end-all be-all. Go watch Brian Baldinger. Watch Emmanuel Acho. I know Eagle fans love to hate on that guy. That guy played in the league, okay? K. Smith, I might send you some merch because you're a funny troll. Zay, calm down. I'll give you my address. Holy cow. Go ahead and send it already. All right. You can't pass and there's a free rusher on your ass after every play. That affects the rhythm of the passing game. Okay, Reyes. All right, Reyes. I know. You don't want any criticism on Jalen. I got you. I got you. All right. Ian East. All right, Z, leave London out of it. Fuck London, Ian. Fuck London. They're not safe. Why would they be safe? Ian, if you're not safe and all the Nimrods in the chat aren't safe and my own city's not safe, why would London be safe? West Philly Lows. Bengals haven't been in the playoffs in 4 years. Yeah. Why? West Philly, answer the question. Why haven't the Bengals been in the playoffs in 4 years? Is it because of Joe Burrow? This is exactly my point. This is where all of you guys aren't thinking about the full problem. When the Bills don't make it to the Super Bowl, when the Bengals don't make it to the playoffs, when the Chiefs don't win the Super Bowl, what's the first problem people say? Do the Bengals not make it because of Joe Burrow? Do the Bills not make it because of Josh Allen? Do the Ravens not make it because of Lamar Jackson? Think about the whole fucking picture. Brian Waddington says, you sound so fucking stupid, Xander. Brian Waddington, sit your ass down and shut the fuck up. You wouldn't know stupid if it slapped you across your nose. You're in Delulu land, Brian. You're in Delulu land. As evidenced by your comment. Why isn't Herbert getting shit? Herbert gets more shit than anybody I've ever seen. And he don't even deserve it all. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Eagles offense can't move the ball. We're the 31st ranked offense in football for another year. We don't have a great defense this year. Is that it? We just don't thrive anymore? Okay. If we don't have the greatest defense in football and the greatest offensive line in football, we're cooked. That's it. Hang it up. Hang it up. Like, what? Your quarterback has to be able to overcome some of those things. Oh, my God. Waddington, that's proof. That's proof you hear what you want to hear. You're sitting here saying we should build our team like the Bengals. When the fuck did I ever utter that phrase, Brian? If you're going to call me fucking stupid, have some fucking receipts. That's not what I said. Either listen or don't make a bullshit-ass comment. If you want to listen and give a comment, go for it. If you're not going to fucking listen, then don't give a comment. Dumb fuck. What a shitty... Where the fuck did I say that? I said nobody says the Bengals don't win because of Joe Burrow. Because Joe Burrow is not the first problem in Cincinnati. Holy shit. What a dumb fucking comment. Listen or don't fucking comment, dude. Maybe it's my fault that I brought your dumb ass to the screen anyway. I brought your dumb ass on this screen anyway. Brandon says, we're saying with the other 52 players on the team, with a pocket passer, could make things go make up when things are going to shit. Well, Brandon, be careful. If you make that comment, apparently you're just a head case and you're not an Eagle fan. Okay. Guys, Jalen Hurts is a certain style of play. His style of play needs different things to go with it. If the things that don't go with it, if the things that need to go with it aren't there, we're fucked. He doesn't make up for it in other areas. If we don't have a historic run game, we don't seem to be good offensively. And even when we had a historic run game, we weren't that great. I mean, good Lord. Roll Philly says, Xander, you can't say it's a defense for Burrow when Hurts made the playoffs with the 30th ranked defense. Burrow didn't get blamed, but Hurts did. Hurts didn't get blamed that year, roll Philly. They fired Brian Johnson, dude. They were the 30th ranked defense in football. Everybody knows why they collapsed in 23. It wasn't because of Jalen Hurts. Nobody said that, and I certainly haven't said it. And nobody on this program has said it. 2023 was not on Jalen Hurts. As a leader, you take some responsibility naturally because you're the leader. But they collapsed because the defense sucked ass. And then they scapegoated the coordinator, Brian Johnson, who had a top 10 offense. Nobody blamed Jalen Hurts for 2023. Nobody. Nobody blamed Jalen Hurts in 23. And anybody who did is stupid. That was not a Jalen Hurts problem. This year, Jalen Hurts has been a problem in our losses. There's no doubt. The Rances and the Waddingtons of the world are sitting in the corner crying about anybody who says otherwise. It's the truth. When you can't run, you need a pass. The quarterback struggles at it. Boiled down, is that what it is? Holy shit, this guy is way more of a pea brain than I gave him credit for. That is not what I fucking said, you dumbass. Holy shit. Now I'm angry on Zander time because there's so many dumbasses in here. I'll go to Roll Philly, who's actually giving me good pushback, but it's reasonable. Fans are in chat saying get rid of him like they are now. Hurts isn't blameless, but I don't think he's the main problem. Well, I think Roll Philly, the way we're playing this year, you could make Hurts the main problem solely because of the way we're playing. We can't run the ball. So if you can't run the ball successfully or super well, the only way to get an offense going is to pass. And Jalen does not thrive in that environment. He doesn't. Z, I wanted John to answer this, so I'll ask you. Would you recognize that it is the OC? What would you need to see? Well, the OC is not doing good. No, there's no doubt about that. He's not blame-free. He's not blame-free. What the hell has he done? A.J. Brown runs the same 4 routes over and over again all fucking game. Devontae Smith's one of the best route runners in the game of football, and he can't get open in his zone coverage? You're telling me one of the best route runners in football can't get open in zone coverage? Who believes that bullshit? Who believes that bullshit? Holy crap. We got a lot of problems on this team. Alfredo says it's play calling, Xander. Kellen Moore called all the plays in the Super Bowl in the NFC game, and what happened? He damn near hit every pass. Alfredo, we were also the 31st ranked passing offense last year. We weren't a prolific passing team. We passed when we had to because we had the recipe to scare teams with everything else. Why do we pass successfully against the Chiefs? Because they sold out to stop the run. Now teams are stopping the run, and they don't even have to sell out. They're not stacking the box. They are not. They are doing sim pressures and dropping back into zones. Over and over again. Zone coverage. Over and over again. The offensive line's not getting the amount of push we need. We're not getting the amount of yards we need running the ball on first down. It's setting us up in the second and long situations. They're playing a zone coverage, and we can't beat it. Now this is a fair question. Wanting Mitch says, Xander, my only question is, why do we look so good one half and anemic in the second? I don't know who to blame. Now, that is a fair comment. Yeah, the run blitzes are good. The run blitzes are. But that's not stacking the box, though. That's very different than stacking the box. Ray says, and that's Jalen's fault. I know, Ray. Your beloved quarterback who you have on a pedestal with a beautiful glow around his head, like he's the second coming. I know none of it's his fault. Emrys, let me walk you through something. When you're the CEO of a business, guess what? You deserve blame. When you're the leader of anything in life, a family, when you're the father and your family goes to shit, guess what? You deserve blame. When you're the quarterback of a football team and your offense is dog water, guess what? You get blame. No matter what, whether you like it or not. I know your Hurts baseball jersey doesn't allow you to see those things, but that's the truth. Most logical, rational people can come to that conclusion. I don't think you can. Keep this energy. What energy? The offense blows, Reyes. We lost 2 games in 5 days. We lost to Jackson Dart, who I like, in his 3rd game of his career, missing offensive lineman, missing Malik Neighbors. And you guys want to tell me we don't have an offensive issue. We have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, a much better offensive line than the New York Football Giants. And we can't move the ball, but Jackson Dart can drop 34 on our head with Lil Jordan Humphrey. And I'm to believe that we don't have an offensive problem. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Holy shit. Roll Philly says, my only problem, Z, is that a lot of people, and even you, don't realize that 27 teams in the NFL would trade their quarterback for Hurts in a second. I don't think that's true, dude. It's true. It's not true for different reasons. I'm not saying it as a knock on Hurts. It's not true because when you have Hurts, you need a lot of other things to be great. You need a great running game. You need a great offensive line, and you need a great defense. That's my point about Joe Burrow that Brian Numbnuts didn't understand. Other quarterbacks make up for certain deficiencies easier than other quarterbacks. Jalen needs a lot around him. It's okay. We have a lot around him. We've been very successful with Jalen Hurts. But if you think another team that's not built as good as we are, newsflash, that doesn't have the talent we have, newsflash, that doesn't have the roster we have, newsflash, would trade for Jalen, they wouldn't. Jalen thrives when things around him are good. If they're not, his skill set struggles to pull the offense to the top. Again, Brian Nimrod, who says, oh, so we should build like the Bengals, says fucking nobody ever. But only Joe Burrow's style of play could lead that shitty defense and that shitty offensive line to any semblance of success. 9 wins, 8 wins, whatever the hell it was. Jalen needs more around him. It's hard to do because GMs aren't as competent. Jalen's a fine player. He's a great football player. He's a great competitor. He's one of the best competitors we've ever had in this city. He's got incredible intangibles. He is built for the moment. When the pressure's at his highest, he plays lights out 100%. But when things aren't perfect, he struggles to move the ball. This is not new. This is not new. Let me just ask this. Let me just ask this. If you put, because we're going to use the Bengals, all right? If you put Jalen Hurts on the Bengals and put Joe Burrow on the Eagles, who would improve each team more? Who would improve each team? Would Jalen Hurts make the Bengals better than Joe Burrow made the Bengals? And would Joe Burrow make the Eagles better than Jalen Hurts made the Eagles? Nobody's turning on Jalen. Man, you guys are Holy shit. I thought the IQ of this chat was a little higher than it is. I honestly believed the IQ of JAKIB Nation collectively was higher than Twitter. It doesn't appear that it is. Holy shit. Turning on Jalen. Nobody's fucking turning on Jalen. It's pointing out that when things all don't line up, he struggles to make the offense work. He's not a rhythm passer. He's not a pocket passer. When your running game doesn't work and your offensive line doesn't look as good, guess what you got to do, guys? You got to move the ball with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Jalen struggles to do that in rhythm. The Bengals effing sucks, and Burrow isn't making them better. You're right, Waddington. You're right. Joe Burrow has done nothing to improve the Cincinnati Bengals. Waddington, I recommend you take the day off. You might be drunk. You might be hungover. Maybe you watched too much Sunday football last night. You sound legitimately stupid. Legit, and I love you, Waddington. You've been here for a long time. I appreciate your support. But holy shit, you sound stupid. Joe Burrow hasn't improved the Bengals. Holy crap. Oh my, that is a take I did not think I would read today. Holy shit. Tyler Kilgore says, Hurts as a passer grows or rebuild. This won't work. Yeah, or get the offensive line and the run game back going, which is not that easy to do. It's not that easy to do. Our offensive line is not because we changed players. It's because those players took a beating with the way we played last year. And anybody who expects you sign it on, it's not Madden. You sign an offensive player who's a 99 overall, and then they stay a 99 overall for the rest of their career. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. That's John's point about why most teams wouldn't want this style of offense, because the margin for error is smaller. Holy shit, it feels like this thing is so obvious to me, and why is nobody understanding it? Holy fuck. West Philly Low says, Bengals haven't been in the playoffs in 4 years. Okay, so you're in the Waddington camp of Joe Burrow doesn't make the Bengals better. Okay. West Philly, the Eagles have made it every year with Jalen. Holy. Oh my gosh. Holy shit. I need to come up with like an IQ drug and sell it to these people. I need to come up with it. Is there any drug out there you can take that makes you smarter? West Philly, I don't know when you started watching football. I'm not sure if that was this year or maybe last year when we won games and you jumped on the bandwagon. I'm not sure when you started watching football. But going to the playoffs has a lot to do with an organization as well. Jalen going to the playoffs every year and Joe Burrow does not has nothing to do with their talent as a quarterback. Okay? If that were the case, then only the national champion every year would be the first pick of the draft as the quarterback. Why is it not? Why was Josh Allen out of Wyoming a top 10 pick in the draft? Huh? Why? Why? Why was Caleb Williams the number 1 overall pick? Why was Jaden Daniels the number 2 overall pick? Why was Drake May picked in the first round at a UNC? The team didn't make the playoffs. The team sucked, right? Why would they pick that quarterback? How do you pick a quarterback that doesn't go to the playoffs? Wait a second. Holy shit. You guys can't be this stupid. I have way higher hopes. You guys are not this stupid. I know you're not. I know you're not this stupid. I know you're not this stupid. I know you're not this stupid. Holy fuck. I'm not even trying to criticize Jaylen Hurts here. You guys aren't being realistic. I mean, dude, be realistic. Holmes says Joe Burrow makes the Eagles better. Jalen makes the Bengals worse. I would concur. West Philly says, was the 2021 Eagles more talented than the Bengals? Probably not. This is the internet, Z. I don't believe that. Waddington. Thank you, Jason. I'm getting my back kicked in. Well, clarify yourself, Waddington, because up to this point, you sound damn near brain dead. I mean, I don't get that comment of West Philly loose. I mean, I'm not trying to rip you, but holy shit, bro. No, I didn't. I did not prove West Philly's point. West Philly's point was fucking awful. It was awful. It was an awful point. His point was that the Eagles have been to the playoffs and the Bengals didn't. So Jalen Hurts is better than Joe Burrow. That is the stupidest take known to man. Literally. That is as stupid as you can get when you're talking about football. Holy crap. The Eagles went to the playoffs and the Bengals did. Oh, man. All right. Can't reason with that. You can't reason with that. There's certain things you can't reason with. Jalen Hurts is more capable of getting his team to win than Joe. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Reyes, please. Ray, are all these same people, West Philly Lows, Roll Philly Dogs, and Reyes. Guys, who's the best general manager in football? Guys, who's the best GM in football? Forget Jalen. Leave Jalen Hurts out of it. Who's the best general manager in football? Who is the best general manager in the game of football? And owner. Add an owner. Brett Veach. It's a good one. I like Veach. Howie. A lot of Howies in the chat. So the roster building that Howie does, the drafting that Howie does, it has nothing to do with the Eagles going to the playoffs? It has not. Really? Is that what I'm being told? Is that the take that people are making? That the Eagles not going or going to the playoffs for 4 years and Joe Burrow not has only to do with them as quarterback? Is that what people are? Is that really the take? I mean, holy shit. Anybody that thinks the Bengals not going to the playoffs is because of Joe Burrow should not be watching football, let alone talking about it. Maybe don't even watch it anymore. Just give it up. There's actually so many other hobbies in the world that you can get into. Please, I urge you, I implore you to explore them. Get outside. Maybe walk on a nature trail. Maybe go look at what the trees look like again. I don't know. There's so many other things you can do. So many other things you can do. If you think the Bengals aren't going to the playoffs because of Joe Burrow. Try lacrosse. That's diabolical. Oh, man. You watching that? What's the lacrosse league called? MLL. Major League Lacrosse. You got to become a Philadelphia Wings fan. Holy shit. The nature trail. Yeah, get out on the nature trail. Fly Eagles Fly says, Jalen is really good at what he does, but he will never be plug and play. Look, he's great at what he does, but he needs a lot around him. That's okay to say. It's okay to say. It doesn't make you a hater. I don't know why people have this or this. You either think Jalen Hurts is the greatest thing since sliced bread, or you're a hater. I don't think it's that, guys. Jalen struggles to lift this team up when the offensive line is not dominant. Okay? I'm a fan too, Fly Eagles. I'm a fan too. I am. I think he's a great fit for Philly. Here's Terrence. Terrence says, I don't know if you answer this, but there are so many run plays. Why do we keep running the same one in the same format? Terrence, I agree. It's the same one, and it's predictable, and it's stupid, and they need to change it. But this is the problem with it. Last year, Terrence, we did the same thing. Last year, Terrence, we legitimately did the same thing. And it worked because we had the great offensive line and because we won. It didn't matter if people knew what was happening. It didn't matter if they knew what play we were going to run. We were better. We were better than them. So the predictability, when people say the offense is predictable, they're correct. But the predictability of the offense is not the first problem. That's John's entire point about execution. Okay? It's John's entire point about execution. If you execute, it doesn't matter if it's predictable. When you're better than the man across from you, it doesn't matter if you're predictable. Apparently, Z missed the Rams game. Which one? The one we won by the skin of our teeth? Oh, wait, that was both of them. Hey, Zander, it's Mike Burkworth. They changed my name. Joe Burrow makes the Eagles better with this offense. Mike, great to have you in here, Mike. Mike's one of our best, one of our legend members. Mike, I love you, brother. Hope you and the fam are doing well. Yeah, I don't know what's up with these YouTube names, but I'll have to remember that home WT5194 is my boy Burkhorst. I'll remember now. If you guys don't tell me, I know. Like my guy, Roll Philly Dogs. I'm not going to lie to you. I had no fucking idea who you were last week. I've been following you on Twitter, though, for a year. You told me who you were, and I'm like, oh, shit. I know who you are. I'll remember if you guys tell me. All right? The one that's irrefutable evidence of Jalen's winning composure. Nobody said he didn't have winning composure, Rice. Rice, again, I'm putting you and Waddington and Trenton Wright are stuck in this corner, and I'm not letting you out. You're not listening to me, Reyes. You're not fucking listening because you want to believe what you believe. You want to be reassured of what you believe. I just said his intangibles are through the roof. His ability to win in the biggest moments are through the roof. His ability to play when the pressure is highest is through the roof. He deserves credit for all those things. Winning composure goes to that. When he doesn't have an offensive line, when Saquon can't get 5.5 yards a carry, when they don't have everything else, he is not built to throw you to success. Reyes, it's a simple question for you. Why is the offense, if Jalen Hurts is so good, if Jalen Hurts is so as good as you say, why are we the 30th offense in football? Answer the question. If he's so good, why are we the 30th offense in football? Answer the question, Reyes. Don't talk me into some bullshit about intangibles and winning composure and all this bullshit. Why are we the 30th ranked offense in football if he's so fucking good? Please, alert me to it. Because stats lie. Okay, good. Good. There you go. That's the answer. Exact answer I needed to prove that Reyes is in delusion land. Reyes has like 10 Jalen Hurts jerseys. I don't know what you expect. And a Jalen Hurts baseball jersey, which is pretty fucking ugly, by the way. It doesn't even look like a piece of Eagles merch. That's what I mean. I wrote on my whiteboard. This is the phrase I wanted to start Zander time with today. I wrote it right here. And I wrote this. I am loyal to nobody but the Eagles. You are loyal to Jalen, which is fine. I like Jalen too. I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts. I have a number 2 Jalen Hurts Eagles jersey, which I purchased when he was drafted. So for anybody who wants to say, Zander's a Jalen Hurts hater. He had something against Jalen Hurts. Bullshit. 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 I love Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to be delusional to why we've lost 2 games in a row, one being to the shoddy New York Giants and having another year of the 30th ranked offense. If you choose to just not discuss those things or not even think about them or act like they do not exist, that is your prerogative. I do not care. Roll Philly, I'm not riding with Jalen. I'm talking about the offense. I'm talking about where the problems lie. I'm not riding with him. That's where you're mistaken. Why would I not ride with him? If he fails, I fail. The team fails. The city fails. It is what it is. I don't want Jalen to fail. I love the guy. And if you need further proof of that, again, I got a number 2 Eagles jersey before he was even dubbed the starter. And even after that, but by the way, we had some guy bringing up 2021 in here, which is fucking hilarious. Because the same people who will tell me Howie Roseman is the greatest GM in the world, the same people will bring up 21 when Hurts led the team to the playoffs. And after 21, Howie was dying to trade him. He was doing anything he could to bring Deshaun Watson to Philly after 21. After 21, the same people who say Howie's the greatest are the same people who use the 21 excuse will fail to admit that GM himself tried to trade off of Jalen Hurts. If you're going to have the conversation, include all the context. Include the context. I don't disagree. It would have been a mistake, Roll Philly. I don't disagree. That doesn't mean the context can be left out, Roll Philly. You can't leave the context out when you're talking about Jalen Hurts. It is what it is, dude. It's a blessing we got Howie. It's a blessing we have Jalen because he works with this team. But when things don't work and it stops working, okay, you got to start to identify the problems. I do a talk show. You guys are fans. It's a beautiful thing. I believe me. Sometimes I wish I could just think about it like you. I got to talk about it every single day. It's how I make my living. It's how I put a roof over my head. It's how I purchase food for the table. Okay? That's what I have to do. I have to talk about it. I'm going to be honest in the way I talk about it. I prefer to live my life seeking truth because what I do requires me to talk. So if you want me to just come up here and talk every day about fake, delusional things, I don't want to live my life that way. So go watch another channel. Please. It doesn't bother me. I don't care. I have other people who will watch me. I have other fans who will listen to the program. I have other people who will send super chats. I have other people who will become members. I will be okay. If you want to be lied to, there's other people who will lie to you. I'm not going to lie. And that doesn't mean I'm right, by the way. Doesn't mean I'm right. It definitely doesn't mean I'm right. I'm not even saying I'm right. Xander, keep holding these peasants accountable. Keep cooking. Pump, I figured you'd like Xander time today. Kyle Cap says, if what you're saying is true, it would have to be proven. If we go 4-4 into the bye, I'd say start Tanner. Whoa. Kyle, I've never said go off of Jalen Hurts. I've never said that. I haven't said that today. There's people in the chat who say it. I understand why they say it. Because when you have the issues that we have, somebody who can get the ball to the receivers would, in theory, help the offense more because they can do things that the Eagles are more equipped to do at this point in time. At this point in time, are the Eagles more equipped to run the ball? Or are they more equipped to use AJ and Devontae? It's a simple question. It's a simple question. What are the Eagles more equipped to do right now? Run the ball or throw the ball to AJ and Devontae? You just got done telling me the offensive line is 27th in the NFL. What are they more equipped to do? I turn my damn air on. It's cold outside. I got to turn my damn air on. I'm sweating in here. And holy shit. I've never seen lack of nuance this way. Zander, for this season, the only reasonable solution to me is get Vic some help and get carried by the defense until the run game gets things worked out. That's a viable comment. Not with Joe Biden. All right, I like the nickname. I like the nickname for Toth, but I'll say this. Protection in the pass game wasn't the problem in the last couple games. It wasn't. The offensive line is maybe the reason the run game. Yes, I'll buy that. But the pass blocking's not been a problem this year. Reyes, you got to detach yourself from delusion a little bit. I promise you, being a fan is still really fun when you're objective. I promise you. When you're objective, it doesn't take away the fandom. It really does. It doesn't take away the fun. It doesn't affect. I promise you. You can be honest about your team and still have a great time being a fan. I promise you. My bad, Caesar. I missed this one. Caesar said, Hurts is a top 10 quarterback with elite intangibles and talent, but he's still system dependent. Until he improves pocket discipline, processing, and adaptability beyond RPOs, he's more very good franchise QB than elite field general. I agree with that. He's very system dependent. And, his elite talent he does have elite talent, but he doesn't have elite talent in the traditional metrics for a quarterback. When you hear elite talent and like a quarterback is elite talent, the traditional way of thinking, and even the modern traditional way of thinking, is throws the ball really well. I mean, what's a quarterback do at the end of the day, Caesar? A quarterback throws the ball. That's what they do. That's their job. Get the ball to the playmakers. Throw the ball. Be the quarterback of the offense. Right? So he doesn't have those traditional talents. He has them, but they're not his best traits. His intangibles are certainly elite. I would agree with that in spades. I would even say second to none when it comes to intangibles. Rising up, playing when the pressure's highest in those playoff games. By the way, you have to add this in too. And get ready. All the Hurts groupies who are mad at me today, they're not going to be happy with this either. So get ready to get mad at me some more. If we say Jalen plays great in all the big games, which he does. He does. He's played great in both Super Bowls. He plays great in most of the playoff games. He has kind of fallen on his face in a couple of playoff games too. Was the Rams playoff game last year a big game? Was the Tampa playoff game 2 years ago a big game? Was the Packer playoff game last year a big game? Did Jalen Hurts play good in those games? Alfredo, it's not contradicting myself. It's called nuance, Alfredo. Exactly. So he sucked in some of those games. So the intangibles are incredible. Don't get me wrong. What he played in the Super Bowl is something that Jalen Hurts will have in his arsenal for life. You cannot take that from him. He is a Super Bowl MVP, and he dominated 2 Super Bowls. You can't take it from him. You can't take it from him. That's true, 50-yard run. But where is that now, Roll Philly? Also, he wasn't good in that game, Roll Philly. Roll Philly. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Don't make me do this right now. Please. Don't make me do this right now. I'm not trying to bash the quarterback, and you're going to make me bash the fucking quarterback. What, he had a 50-yard run, so you think it was good? He took 7 fucking sacks in that game, Roll Philly. It was a playoff game. 7 sacks for 63 yards. He had 128 passing yards and 63 yards of sacks. Dude, don't make me bash the quarterback. He had a 50-yard run. It was a great run. He did not play well versus the Rams. Come on, dude. Saquon Barkley had 26 carries for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. Come on, dude. Dude, he sucked in the Rams game. Roll Philly, stop, bro. You got to be on. Roll Philly, don't lie to yourself. Jalen's played a lot of good games in his career. The Rams playoff game was not one of them. Stop. Don't sell me that. Dude, you guys, it's easier to sell me. He had a beautiful Super Bowl and a beautiful NFC championship game. Use those. Please, use those. Don't use the Rams game. Come on, man. You guys swipe your own legs out from under you by using that shit. Oh, my God, Alfredo. Alfredo, you tweet at me every day how much more we got, how good Devontae Smith is, man. You do it every day. You tweet at me every day, Alfredo, how good Devontae Smith is, how good A.J. Brown is. Dude. Devontae Smith had 21 yards in the Rams game, and A.J. Brown had 14 yards in the Rams game. Jalen didn't play good in the Rams game. He did not. And by the way, the 44-yard touchdown run, he had 70 total rushing yards in the game on 7 carries. In other words, he went 6 carries for 25 yards. Yeah, that was Perk Hurts is right. Money Mitch, he blew, dude. He was awful in the Rams game. He took 7 sacks. 7 fucking sacks. You guys are going to make me do it. You're going to make me go to the Packer playoff game too. You're going to make me go to the Packer playoff game too. I didn't want to rip the quarterback this bad. You guys are making me do it. In the Packer game, he was 13 of 21 for 130. Saquon Barkley, 25 carries for 120 yards. A.J. Brown had 1 catch for 10 yards in the playoffs. A.J. Brown had 24 total yards in 2 playoff games last year. The quarterback didn't play good in those games, guys. Holy shit. I'm fighting an uphill battle here. I realize this. How many sacks did he take in the Packer game? 2 sacks. What was the playoff game he took? Didn't he take 9 sacks in one game? Let me get to my super chats. Pumper says, Hurts can't run RPOs. No one respects his speed to get to. I don't agree with that. 22 is over. Y'all living in the past. I do agree. You can't just run the RPO in 25 because it worked in 22. The league changes. The league changes a lot every single year. That's why people say it's a week-to-week league and it's a year-to-year league. And there's major parity every year. You can't run the 22 offense in 25. That I agree with. I think Hurts could do it. I don't think his speed is slowed down. Gina Coco. I like that name. Not a popular opinion, but do you think Tanner would be better thinking he reads the D quicker? He definitely reads the D quicker. Every player has different skill sets. Tanner's is he's a statue in the pocket, but he can get the ball out quick. He's a timing thrower. He's a rhythm thrower, and he reads defenses very quickly. That's Tanner's skill set. Do you want to make an argument it would work better with this team? By all means, make that argument. I haven't made that argument yet. I am simply pointing to why I believe we are one of the worst offenses in football. People don't want to hear it. That's all right. Zander, this is why I renew my membership. And I don't want you to renew your membership because I hate on Jalen. I'm not even hating on Jalen. I like Jalen. In fact, I love Jalen. We had a parade on Broad Street in February, largely because of Jalen. Wasn't only because of Jalen. All right? Look at this guy. I'm out. This dude's baby Sills. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I have my own takes just like Sills has his own takes. You're incapable of an objective conversation. Iconic takes from me every day, but no Zeno. When you win a giveaway, you'll get a Zeno. Oh, look. Look at this. Look at this. This is why you got to get yourself a good woman in life. Okay? So I ran out of Z-notes. Look. I had no more of the American ones left. I'm down to 2. 1, 2. 1, 2 left. So I'm running out. I'm like, shit, how am I going to do Z-notes this year for my giveaways? JD, you want a merch giveaway? It's different. I got a full stack of new, fresh Z-notes to fill out. So we got a boatload of fresh JAKIB Z-notes to give out. You got the Philly skyline on there, the JAKIB logo, and the American flag. So shout out to my beautiful fiance for getting these for me. All right? She got these for me. Thank you, honey. I love you. All right? So shout out to her. Any giveaways we get will be coming with a Z-note, okay? Any giveaways, and I still have a couple giveaways to send. Chasen, you just reminded me. Chasen, Philly Don, Penn, I sent yours. So Chasen and Philly Don, I have to send. Philly Don got a hat because of his membership on the website. All right, so I didn't send that yet. Chasen, I didn't send yours yet, but I do have your Mailata jersey. I'll send it today. All right, I'll fill you out a Zeno. Her only flaw is that she's not Italian. My woman's half Italian. I can take that to the bank. But yeah, my mom's 100% Italian. Largely why I'm spoiled. All right, I love you guys. I'm done. Hour and a half of Zander time, dealing with a lot of dinguses. Too many dinguses. All right. I still love all you guys. I do. Embrace, I still love you. Even though, good Lord, your delusion knows no bounds. Roll Philly, you know I love you. I like Roll Philly because at least he gives me good shit to go back and forth on. And I got him over on Twitter. He's a smart guy. I like him over there, too. He's not one of the Delulu guys on Twitter. All right. HKP, love you, dog. Everybody in here who's mad at me. Afredo, you know I love you, too. I know you're going to be mad at me, Afredo. I know you're going to be mad at me, Afredo. But cheer up. Cheer up. Cheer up. I love all you guys. Curtis, you've been saying the same thing into the void for an hour and a half. Holy shit, Curtis. Curtis, takes change because play changes. Opinions change because players change, Curtis. Holy shit. Flex, love you, brother. HKP, love you. Roll Philly, love you, brother. I always appreciate you, man. All right? I do. I do. It's good conversation. And I'll tell you this. I know I told people who don't like it to go to a new channel. But I'll say this. I love JAKIB because it's not an echo chamber. I don't want it to become an echo chamber. I am not here to be agreed with over and over again. So if you disagree, I appreciate you pushing back. All right. Waddington, that was your worst day on record. Waddington, you had an awful fucking day. In fact, take the day off, take off from work, get some rest, because that was abysmal. That was abysmal. We don't want an echo chamber. Love you guys. Love Alfredo. Let me make sure I got all my supers. Did Zadarius Smith just retire on IG? No way. No way. Holy shit. Holy shit. Zadarius Smith literally just retired. Oh, God. This team is fucked. I'm not getting off the air yet. Lock the fuck in, everybody. Sit your ass back on the couch. Load me back up on the phone. We got some shit to talk about. Let me text John. Wait, I should end the show and do its own thing. Let me end the show. I'll make its own link. I'll come back on. Let me text John. Let me do its own show. Let me read the super chats. I'm going to be referencing Jacob on the game. Love it, brother. If you had to pick Jalen issue or coaching issue, both. All right, I think I got them all. All right, let me end the show. I'm going to come back live. This is a major problem. Our edge rushers are certified ass cheeks right now, and the best one just retired in the middle of the fucking season. Anybody think there's locker room problems? Why else would fucking Zadarius Smith sign 3 weeks ago and retire now? He signed 3 fucking weeks ago. Did he have that big of a change of heart? Breathe. I was asking what you thought. Give you a 20. Breathe, big guy. Love the show. Dallas sucks. Sorry, bro. I do got to breathe. I'm going to have a heart attack up here, man. You guys are getting me scared. My biggest fear in life is always, I'm not fearful of anything. I'm fearful of the Lord above. That's it. And heart attacks have always scared me. Jason, imagine a world where we win games by 7+ points. AJ, Smitty, Goddard, all involved. All I ask is, why do we need to imagine that? Jason, I don't know, brother. Stop sending supers, everybody. I got to get off here. Let me text John. Zadarius Smith just retired. Can we do a hit? All right, let me go. I'm going to end the stream. We'll come back. Do an Adderall. I don't do fucking Adderall. I'm fueled by the man above. Come on, Paparo. And a nice cup of Joe. Are you kidding me? Adderall. What are you talking about, Adderall? I love you guys. I'm out of here. Later. I'll be on soon.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.